True Gamer Podcast, the podcast hosted by two gamers for you, the true gamers. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with the bro, the inverted gamer himself, Sheps. How's it going, bro?
It's going good, because you literally nailed that on the first try. Like, we've been going for, where's my audio equipment? Like 2 minutes, not even that.
Right? We didn't even have like our warm-up session where we give each other compliments and tell each other how beautiful we look today. We just went straight into it.
Yeah, we do our scene readings, we get into character.
Exactly.
We pretend we like each other, all that stuff. But no, this, of course, is the True Gamer Podcast, brought to you by our amazing super bros over on patreon.com/conversations. Do you have the names ready? Who do we have to thank?
You know what? I didn't have it ready, and I was like, I knew I forgot something just before this.
I was like, it's going too smoothly. I'll jump in right now.
But
before
luckily,
we've even said what the topics are.
But luckily, it's just 2 clicks away, and I was like, okay, fuck it, I got it back.
That's 2 clicks too many.
It's Diogo. Oh shit! I fucking just knocked my mic over there. Sorry about that. Totally professional gig.
I actually heard it as well. Yeah.
We have a Diogo Dildo, Isak the Ultimate, Carol Torivia, aka Catsper the Friendly Patron, Record Friction, Dan the Man,
Jeremy. Thing.
Yeah, definitely. Jeremy Renner, that's right, an official Avenger. Martin Scorsese's Master H Barts 12, the Midget Aloy from Smallville, Sabine, Master Chief. Oh, by the way, Christian, if you want your own shout out, you got to totally go and get your own Patreon support. You're definitely not getting another one from us. Master Chief himself, Albie Scory, Super Sus Ben Fryer, the Star Wars Encyclopedia himself, Adam Sunling, and the Gamer of Gaming Shire, David Bindis. Thank you, bro, so much for keeping the lights and mics on and gaming going here at Combroplations. You guys are so awesome.
Right.
Thank you so much right there.
That's right.
How are you doing, bro? I just I'm asking you because you might be quite pissed off because I just saw your tweet that you put out just before we started recording here on this podcast. What's going on? You feeling something?
Yeah, well, it's also like, every day that the PS5, any extra pre-orders and stuff go up, every single time I'm working. And, like, I don't get regular breaks. I don't have, like, time in between where I can just, like, whip out my phone and check stuff, And even if it could, like, the chance that lines up with the sites working,
Yeah.
So I am trying to come to terms with the fact that I probably won't have a PS5 this year.
We actually have a lot of PS5 talk, and actually a lot of talk about PS5 pre-orders in general and stuff like that. So prepare yourself for a bit more. Yeah. Just cover yourself with a bit of I don't know. Like I'm thinking oil, so you don't, when you get wet, it's like hydrophobic and it just goes right off of you.
That's it, like a water off a duck's back, innit?
Exactly. So get some of that on you and see if you can try and brush off any of these feelings that we talk about them later.
I came up on like Xbox Live and stuff back in the day. Like every kid I ever played against had known my mother in the biblical sense, like it takes a lot to bug me, I gotta be honest, but
yeah, we grew up in those times.
Yeah. What are the topics today? So we've got PS5 news.
Yeah, we've got PS5 talk. News. We've got a lot of Cyberpunk talk as well.
Yeah.
Which is funny because this show, Cyberpunk and PS5, that's kind of all we talk about. And we do have a little bit of talk regarding some other games that are coming out and some other little topics in terms of like Red Dead Redemption in the gaming news, in the gaming sphere at the moment. Should be quite fun. It should be quite fun right there. Yeah.
Awesome.
We do have. Can I just mention a few things that have been happening in our community? That's kind of. I kind of want to air some things out. I kind of want to mention some things. So the other day, I was listening to the what's that ridiculous podcast that nobody listens to.
Oh, I know the one you mean, but I can't remember its name.
Yeah, it's something like AA or something like that. Alcoholics Anonymous podcast.
Something like that. I think you're right, yeah.
From those guys at Something Always Entertainment. I don't know what it is over there.
Yeah.
Those guys, I was listening to one of those podcasts, and they decided to do a whole episode, spoiler-free, talking about Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah.
And oh shit, did you just break something?
I totally nearly dropped my phone in my tea.
Oh shit.
It's fine. We're good.
That could have been funny. I would have said take a picture of it afterwards, but you've got no phone to take a picture of it. They were talking about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I've only played maybe about 10 hours of it or something like that, and people have been asking me since, like, how have my feelings been about it and stuff like that. I decided to save everything that's actually happening for this podcast, and I decided to tweet out some fun, just for jokes, to get people riled up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
People have been talking about this specific arc in the game called the London arc.
Okay.
And they're saying, "Oh, it's the most amazing thing ever."
Get the London Arc. I'm sorry, I hate that ad so much, but it ran through my head. I'm so sorry. Forgive me.
Oh God! Oh, you're terrible. You are terrible. It's one of them dad jokes. You're not even a dad.
God.
You're an uncle. You're not a dad yet.
It's right. Exactly. It's even worse. God.
Everyone's saying, "Oh, the London Arc is fantastic because if you've played past AC games, which I haven't, they're like, oh, it pays so much homage to those and whatnot. It's really great. It's really beautiful. It's clearly a very good fan service to the fans over there." I was like, okay, all right. So here's me. I'm just like, the London Arc was shit. Send tweet, and I just walked away from my phone. I just went, that's it. I'm out. And the shit storm I came back to when I looked at my phone was insane. Everyone's like,
frick 'em, they're only AC fans.
Exactly. I was just like, I didn't respond to a single one of them. I just let them all just say all their shit, and they were all like, this is why you're Eddie. This is why you have bad takes. Blah 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 blah. People trying to throw. That
explains a few of the things that I saw. Even on I wrote a tweet and people said some stuff, and I was like, I respect it, but I don't see how it fully relates. That's the missing piece. Okay.
There you go. That's it. And the thing is that I haven't even played the London Arc yet. I don't know. I've just put that shit out there just to troll people, and everyone fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. I was like,
perfect.
Oh, God. That was some good stuff right there. I just wanted to put that out there for everybody to know, so everybody knows that they fell for my genius plan right there.
I have been doing a few of those tweets where it's like on purpose, you're not just saying something, you're doing it on purpose for a specific reaction and getting exactly that reaction, and it is fun to do.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a lot. Before we go any further though, This is the True Gamer Podcast.
This is.
And as a result of that, we do have to come out and tell an adult about our cyberbulliers because the patrons over on patreon.com/conversations at the $5 and above, the $5 tier in particular, made this podcast happen. They specifically made this happen. I would say with malevolent intent, if this was in a courtroom, your honour, your first piece of evidence for your consideration, cyberbullying, making us do even more content.
Yes.
So I think we should read out a list of the people that we allege to be guilty.
Yes, Your Honour, those people are Jeremy Horde, Record Friction, Diogo, Isak Manny, Dan, Real Cinema, Catsper Coral, Sab2557, The Ultimate Audio Virgin, that's one of your bros right there.
Nice, yeah.
Albi Scory, David Bindis, Adam the High Quality Potato, Hooded Dude, Cobra SS, the True Gamer Josh, Ashton is not happy that Matt Platinumed Odyssey, Benedict Clobbers, Adam Sunling, Batfan257, Fishy, Max H, The Swan Swam Over the Sea, Swin Swan Swim, The Swan Swam Back Again, Well Swam Swan. Way!
Yeah,
thank you, bros, so much for keeping the lights and mics on and making this podcast happen. You bros, you really, really deserve all the praise and all the shit that you're going to get from our judge right here for all the cyberbullying and stuff like that.
Because trust me, you're guilty. What's our first topic?
Let me. There's a few things I just need to bring up
some
just before we get started. Exactly, some housekeeping stuff. First things first. We are, by the time you're listening to this, we are 1 week away from the charity live stream, the Gamers Against Cancer charity live stream that's happening. It's going to be happening across 5 channels. It's going to be happening over James, that's Lasers HD. It's going to be happening over Fishy, our channel, George, and Tyler. It's going to be loads of gaming live streams, raising money, raising awareness as well to breast cancer research. You guys can find out all about that in a link in the description. And by the time this stream goes live, we will also have a schedule up of all of the live streams on different days that we're going to be doing. It's going to be a different person every day, maybe some surprise streams from other people as well as the days goes on and stuff like that. I haven't fully settled on what game I'm going to be playing over here. I was thinking maybe Resident Evil in VR, but I don't know how long I can go for in VR. It might get a little bit tiring on my head and whatnot and stuff like that.
Aren't we streaming though?
Yeah, we'll be doing it. Yeah, it'll be like, what I was thinking was we'll do like a couple of games and we'll just go back and forth. And also,
cool.
We'll
VR's out for me. If there's any driving, it's a no-go.
That's the thing. I know you're not a VR guy, but maybe it'll be fun for you to fuck with me while I'm in VR or something like that. But anyway, that's just an idea. If you guys have any suggestions, feel free to send it our way. But that's happening from the 4th of December to the 7th of December. Check the links in the description to all of the places. We'll be doing... Just a quick mention, we can't turn off Super Chat on some of the channels and stuff like that, but we don't want any of the donations to go through there. It all has to go through a link in all of the descriptions of the streams. It will be mentioned again when the streams happen, but we just want to make that clear, just so there's no messing around and we're like, oh god, now we have to transfer this money over, oh, Google took half of the money anyway, that kind of stuff like that.
That's the big thing, isn't it? It's not that we don't want to donate money, it's that you donated money and it can't all go where it's supposed to go. You know, that's freaking Google, man.
It was intended to go to a cause, and we want it all to go to that cause, you know? And also, it's much tidier as well if it doesn't touch our hands, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
The other little thing, we are at the end of November now. It's coming up to the end of November, so this is the last chance for you guys to get in on the Cyberpunk 2077 brand themed, I should say, the Combrolations 2077 PS4 game cover that I've got in the background there. You can kind of see the yellow just over there. A lot of guys have been sending in their pictures, and they're all really, really goddamn happy. It's really awesome.
Can we just take a moment? So, like... You and I made this thing, and it went through a few different iterations. I thought it was really cool. You thought it was really cool. We made this thing, and we did unironically say, like, even if no one wants it, I want it, and I do have it, and it's going to go on my Cyberpunk when I finally get it. Mm-hmm. I was not expecting that many people to one, get it, and then to, like, when we were signing them, I was like, this is a lot of... people. It was a lot more than I was expecting. We thought, what was it? It was like 5 to break even.
We thought, let's aim for like 5 or 6, and we'll work it all the cost and everything around that. We'll work it around that. And
it was like 15 or something. It was a lot of people.
It was 22.
22. It was 22 people. So a lot more. 4 times or 5 times what we thought. And the reaction, like we made all those little jokes in there and put all the Easter eggs in, and we thought we were funny, but people thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm so happy with how well people have... And like, I still get the odd tweet here and there going, oh, I just noticed this on the back, you know?
Because that was exactly what you was hoping for, right? We said, let's keep it a secret and see how people just, like, they can share notes in class type thing and go, oh, did you see this? Did you see that?
I mean...
Worked out perfectly.
There's stuff in there where, like, we modified some of the small print, as an example, and I'm not telling you which or where... in multiple places, like the 69, for example. Nice.
Yes.
Pretty obvious that we did that, right? Yeah. It's bright and bold. But the other stuff, not so bright, not so bold. And I'm really glad that we customized. Everybody got very different graffiti on their stuff, you know?
Yeah, that was another thing as well, because once one person asked for it to be signed, it was like, okay, let's give other people the option. Everyone said they wanted it signed, and we're like, well, let's make it all nice and personal and whatnot. Different graffitis, little messages, stuff like that. It was all...
Right.
It was all... The thing is, it was so much fun for us, and then seeing everybody get it, and then they were like, oh, this is so cool, you guys are so amazing.
Yeah,
I was like, man, we just did it for us, but you're making me feel things now.
Yeah. It is. Also, I'm very glad. Again, we did our best to make it so that we sent 2 out actually.
Yeah.
One
like
you're at the
clean
tail end.
One, and then one,
exactly.
One with graffiti.
Untouched, and then one with like a message on it, and like dicks here and love hearts there, and swear words in Polish or whatever, right?
Yep.
And I'm glad that it worked out that way, so that we could just literally draw on somebody's thing. And then also give them what they asked for, you know, like. But the response has been really good, even from I can't remember what that guy's name is. He was on that podcast you mentioned.
Oh God, what was
those guys? Yeah,
Wames,
they've
Wames, was it? Wames,
something like that.
Something like that.
Wames Gelford. I can't really remember. He's a nobody, but that's not important.
Exactly.
Also, yeah. By the way, the 4 Pillars guys, they all got much more savage messages.
We really ripped into them. Oh, God.
So, I can't wait for one in particular to get his. But so anyway, it's something that we made, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm genuinely just stunned at how good of a reception they got, and I'm so glad that everybody's enjoying them. Because that is why we made it. And it was not it wasn't easy. Like you put in a good amount of time designing them, and then even worse than that, actually getting them printed right.
That was the headache. Because it was stuff outside of my control, and in the end, I had to go and fucking force them to do it the way I told them to do it. And yeah, that was the headache. But it ended up turning out to be fantastic. It was in that rare occasion where Conversations does something and it ends up being good. But it was great. We do have just a couple left because we did over order, so we make sure to cover everybody.
Yeah.
If you guys want that, you can head over to Patreon now. You can subscribe to the True Gamer Plus tier. You can get one of those, and we'll send those out ASAP, and you'll have it. By my calculation, it should be before the game comes out. Cyberpunk comes out, which is in 13 days, by the way.
And the reason that we mention it isn't just to plug our own stuff. It's that you can now go on Twitter, because those guys, they had to just trust that we were going to look after them. Yes. You can go on and actually see what they got and see if it's something that you want. So, considering it.
I like that it went so smoothly, because in the future, if we ever decide to do anything like this and we say, guys, just trust us, there's going to be no shadow of doubt now. It's going to be like, of course, they've done it. They've done all this shit before. This is going to be fantastic, whatever it is. Sold right there.
We do try to maybe under promise and over deliver.
Yes.
Because
they didn't expect the stickers in there. They didn't expect the second copy in there. The
exactly.
Cool message and stuff like that. Yeah.
Exactly. Like they asked for one signed copy or one copy, however they wanted it, and they got two, clean, a signed and a sticker. Yeah. So I think you and I are both a bit cautious about not taking this thing for granted. Unfortunately for you guys, though, on the Zero Death stream last night, you all now owe us back taxes, and the price is being doubled. We're giving you half the benefits for twice the price now. It's you did it. You did this, boys. Yeah. Not me. You asked for it. So
for those of you guys that weren't there at the first Demon Souls stream that I did last night, I said I was at the 9 glitch count. Glitch, not death. There was no deaths in my streams.
No, zero deaths.
Exactly, 0 deaths. And I was like, I guarantee you, there's going to be no more glitches from here on. And then I immediately died right there, and that's where. And I promised everyone that if I died one more time, that would be it. Everyone gets free Patreon, and then no one needs to. And in fact, I refund everybody their Patreons. And then Sheps came along, being the suit of the company, and was like, "That's it. Everyone double the cost. Everyone now owes us backdated all of the months of Patreon, and now you get half of the benefits. That's what you guys get. So
yeah, you get half the benefits at double the cost, and you owe us from back when we started YouTube. So." Boys, you might have to pick up a second job.
I was going to say, when we started YouTube, or when we was both on YouTube?
No. When we started YouTube.
I did
09 or something.
I was going to say, that's back university days, right? I did ask some of the guys to send in pictures and stuff like that of their covers, and a few of them I asked as well, what did you replace? Because they had to replace, obviously, a game case, right? What did they do? Some people are waiting for Cyberpunk to come so it can be their official Cyberpunk case and whatnot. I think Josh said he was going to do that.
Yep.
But we have Top Bro Ben, who said, I was going to sacrifice Valhalla, but then I realized that is true gaming. Oh, God.
Wow.
So I couldn't go with that, and he sacrificed Gran Turismo Sport instead. But do you know what else he actually did? And he wrote a little story here that I want to read out. He says, another great story about it, which I feel like I have to tell you for some good old gaming, is that I actually sent the picture of myself and the case to a friend, and he actually believed it was the real thing. I said that Amazon sent it to me earlier, and that it was a good, and there was a good 5 minutes conversation about how I was downloading it and how I was going to finish. I was going to finish Valhalla before I started Cyberpunk, because Cyberpunk's not really that important, right? Come on, yes. And he goes, and the whole time I was dead serious, and he had no doubt that it wasn't real. Eventually, I did tell him though, because and actually show him that it was a cover, and he didn't know about you guys because he isn't a true gamer. He says.
Well, of course.
Yeah, exactly. If he doesn't know about us, then what does he really know? But he did say it was a great idea and it's something really good for you guys to do, and he's absolutely with him. He agrees. Thanks for the awesome gift. It shows that you really care about the community. All right, bye for now. Oh, he's so sweet right there. And Diogo said that he replaced the boredom that was Death Stranding, which I take offense to, good sir. I take offense to that right there. God.
At least they have found homes actually on games, it's gonna go on my Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
I'll probably put it on top of the original, but it's gonna go on it. Yeah.
Good stuff right there. Quick, tiny little shout outs. I just want to say one to Cass, because it's his 21st birthday. Guy's actually turned 21.
What, Casper Coral?
Casper Coral? Yes, that Casper Coral right there. He's turned 21. What a gamer right there. Hope you guys get some chicken wings together with your other gamer friends and stuff like that.
Gaming.
And also, I want to give a shout out to D, who unfortunately probably isn't going to see this because he's been grounded, the poor bastard. Everyone in the Discord the other day was conspiring against me for some reason. I don't know what they were doing, but they were all conspiring against me, and they were trying to trick me into doing things in Cyberpunk when it comes out to... how do I explain it? To do things in order to get her killed. In order to get Judy killed when the game comes out.
Is that even possible?
I don't know, and I don't think they know, but they were all planning. They were like, and this was in a public channel, and they totally didn't realize it, but Dee was like the only one there that had my back, and they were like, why don't we try and trick Eddie? Let's try and trick Eddie to do all these things in Cyberpunk that will eventually get Judy killed, because I know he would really hate that. And those motherfuckers, the betrayal, I can't believe the betrayal going on in our own Discord server. Can you believe that shit right there?
That's pretty funny. I think I might have seen something that caught the tail end of it where they were trying to make it so that they would tell you, oh, you want to make sure you do this because then that like cements your like romance options, but it's actually the thing that puts her in the mission that gets her killed or something.
Exactly. Bastards, yeah. I tell you, bastards.
I love our Discord so much.
Do you want to hear something funny?
Go on.
So, my audio was not recording through the microphone for the first entire bit right there.
What was it recording through?
The microphone on the camera was recording. This sounds like it's your problem, and you're gonna have to edit in your new audio now. We're gonna have to I started it up just like a minute ago, so we've got audio now. But with the first part of that audio, just gonna be a little bit shitter quality than normal. I'm sorry, guys, who are listening on the audio versions and whatnot. You know.
Yeah, audio versions. I'm sorry that you aren't watching it on YouTube, but also that Ed is the unprofessional sack of fake gamer that he is. Because, God damn it. Mate,
we had such a big streak.
I hope that is a nightmare just to cut in. Like, it shouldn't be, but I hope there's like an audio pop here or there, and you just can't figure it out, but you can't cut past it, because then you cut into words where you aren't, in the middle of a thing where you're speaking and you can't. I really hope that's a nightmare, because you deserve it.
You
God
bastard. You bastard. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry for that. Do you know what? It's been a long time since we've had like a major crack up on this podcast, and we were overdue. So there we go right there. Sorry about that, guys, but it should be good audio from here on out, okay? All right, guys. So let's get into this show. Starting off, let's talk about some Cyberpunk, some news that's been happening. A lot of things has been happening since the last podcast. So it's 13 days until the release of Cyberpunk. I thought we would start off this section where we talk about Cyberpunk, going over all of the things that have happened in life since the announcement trailer of Cyberpunk 2077 to now. Do you want to? Should we go on a little bit of a trip?
From like 2012, because I was thinking we should go to like Big Bang to now.
Yes, let's go from the Big Bang all the way up to now. What has happened? No. So the announcement trailer, the teaser trailer that came out, was on the 10th of January 2013. And since then, I have a list of things that have happened in the world of gaming, and a little bit in the world of everything since that has happened.
You want to do a significant world and gaming events from 2013 up to now, like since the time that this game started development, this is what's happened in the world.
Basically, yes. I've got a list right in front of me, and let's get into this. So here are the things that have happened.
Rattle these off. Let's hear it.
2 Resident Evil remakes have happened.
2 The Last of Us have happened. 2 open world Rockstar games have happened. 2 Dark Souls games. 3 Gears of War games. 11 Call of Duties have happened. 9 Assassin's Creeds. 2 God of Wars. 3 Miyazaki games. 2 Uncharted games. 2 Devil May Cries. 3 Watch Dogs. 2 games and 1 demo made by Hideo Kojima. 1 Last Guardian, the announcement of Final Fantasy Versus 13 that eventually became Final Fantasy 15, and the launch of that game has happened.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3 has launched. Diablo 4 has been announced. Kingdom Hearts and the prologue. And the announcement and the launch of Shenmue 3. The announcement and the launch of Final Fantasy 7 Remake has happened.
Yeah.
2 Fallouts have released. 4 Battlefields. The birth and death of the Ouya has happened.
Yes, yeah.
2
true.
World Cups. An entire Star Wars trilogy has happened.
Yeah.
A Crash game with a remastered trilogy, it won also a spin-off, a racing spin-off game, and a mainline sequel has released of Crash. 6 Yakuza games. 2 Popes have happened since then. 2 Spider-Man reboots in theaters have happened. 3 Avengers movies. The death of the Wii U and the birth of the Nintendo Switch. The launch of the PS4 and the PS5. The Xbox One and the Xbox Series, and the birth and the imminent death of Stadia. All of those things have happened in the time that it's taken for Cyberpunk to be teased and to come out.
Yeah.
That's a lot of crap to happen in 7 years right there, right?
Yeah.
And also that's one GTA game. One GTA game right there.
Yeah, one GTA game across 3 generations. My God, that's insane. That is insane. PS3, 4, 5.
Yeah, that's I can't believe they've got the cheek to do that. But that's all the stuff that's happened since Cyberpunk 2077 was teased back in 2013. I was astounded when the first thing I saw was the amount of
serious list. That's a serious list.
I saw the Assassin's Creed games first, and that's what spiked this whole thing. And I was like, wow, there's been that many Assassin's Creed games, and they're not even yearly anymore. So how many other things have happened? And then I went to Call of Duty, and I went to all these other things. And then when it got to the birth and the death of Ouya, I was like, well, this list is just fucking immense, right?
Hold on. Hold on a second.
Go on.
When did they start development on The Witcher 3? Because in that same time frame, they at least finished and released and then made DLC for The Witcher 3, right? It came out in 2015. The release date was...
It was 2013, right?
I'm not sure. It was supposed to come out in 2014. So CDPR, it turns out, do delay a lot.
Really? That's so strange.
I had no idea.
No.
I can't find when they started development. I'm not looking that hard, to be fair.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, from 2013 to 2015 is like, the big ramp up to the game, releasing it, patching it, coming out with the DLC, which, by the way, as you know, because you played it somewhat recently, that DLC is fantastic.
Amazing, yes.
Oh, and they have this whole other game, like, in the works, it's probably not with the skeleton crew while they're doing The Witcher, but still, like, it's there,
Yes, exactly. They are doing a lot over there.
Yeah.
No wonder why everything gets delayed if they're stretching themselves so thin on every project that they've got.
Right.
Yeah, so that's all the stuff that's come out since the teaser. I thought I just wanted to recap that because it's actually immense, that list.
That's a serious list, isn't it? How many FIFAs?
Oh shit! Yeah, fuck. I should have gone into FIFAs, right? I just didn't consider it true gaming.
And
like Kuba
Maddens.
does.
How many hours of ads watched inside Madden games?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one right there. I like that. Oh boy. Anyway, moving on to the next topic within Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk 2077. So, copies of the game are now being leaked, and gameplay is also being leaked out to the public and online. Have you seen any of the gameplay, or have you managed to save yourself and dodge them all?
You know how I am when it comes to like movies and game stuff. I try to avoid it. I I will go cold turkey from the internet if I have to. I'm not even joking.
Yeah,
I think I'm probably going to give up on that. I'm not playing it on my PS4 because I do really want the game.
The thing is, it was all based on us getting the PS5, both of us getting a PS5,
Yeah.
and having it and playing it, right? I mean,
I don't want to not play the game, and it will be impossible to avoid the game until 2021. You know, to avoid anything to do with it, because I do follow people that are gaming YouTubers.
Thank
I do
you.
follow.
So sweet. Oh.
Wow, wow. Guy's gonna do me like that on my own channel. Okay. Like just the Four Pillars guys, it'll be impossible to avoid it. Plus our Discord, plus like Twitter and YouTube and all that stuff. So I think I really don't want to play it on my PS4, and it's not because I don't love my PS4. I do. I feel like the game should be run, even though it's a PS4 version and that patch for next gen isn't coming out for a year. It should still be run on the best thing that it can run on.
Because it will have like a frame rate boost-ish type thing, like from the base console and whatnot when it's on a PS5, and it will at least give it the performance, like it will give it the horsepower that it needs, so it doesn't stutter or anything like that.
I'd rather be playing it with horsepower to spare than with my PlayStation about to tear itself apart.
God
and
damn it.
My other worry is that, like, and this has nothing to do with the game. I think the game's fine overall. I do have some concerns, and we can talk about those in a minute, because when you asked have I seen gameplay, I have seen the official PS4 Pro and PS5 gameplay that they released. But like, I played Jedi Fallen Order. That was entirely designed for PS4 and PS4 Pro. Well, current generation.
Yeah.
My experience of that, and I know other people experienced it. It was very hit and miss for a lot of people. Horrendous.
Yeah.
It didn't seem to run very well, just in general. My copy, which was your copy, which for you ran fine, for me didn't.
Yeah.
So we've no idea what that issue is, but for me, it felt sluggish. And I had, genuinely so many glitches I couldn't count them all. It's deep into double. It may have been 100, different variations of things, like really genuinely. And a little bit of me is worried that having it run on my base PS4 is going to cause something like that. But I did see apparently one of the devs ran a Nomad playthrough and had like 174 hours on it.
Yeah, so that's another thing. Back just before we get on to, in fact, let's talk about that and then we'll come back to the leak stuff and whatnot.
Okay.
So cool. Is it Lucas Bible?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, he posted a picture on Twitter of him playing the Nomad life path, and he also took a picture of the current hours played, and it was like 175 hours and 3/4. And he's like, this is just where I am right now. And somebody asked him, like, is that a completionist run? What's going on? And he said, oh no, it's just me playing every feature, using every possible nook and cranny, playing stealthy, not going too quickly through anything, and playing on the hardest difficulty. And he's not completed it. So that proves that there is going to be a lot to do if you want to do it in the game. That's that right there.
I feel like the way he said it is, it's more like, you know how with Skyrim there wasn't really like levels and points, you just gained enough experience. Eventually, if you played long enough, you would have everything unlocked.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's kind of playing it like that, where it's like, I'm gonna play through, do absolutely everything, and then do the main quest. You know?
Yeah.
But realistically, I could see, at least 3 different life paths taking you could do a solid 60 hours each,
Yeah, that's genuinely what I'm feeling anyway. There was that report a long time ago that said like it's going to be slightly shorter than The Witcher 3, and the idiots of the world took that as, well, this game's only going to be 5 hours long then. That's less than The Witcher 3,
It's going to be more than 5 hours.
It's like more than 5 hours, guys.
The thing is, like, okay, less than The Witcher 3. Like, The Witcher 3 was not a short game. We had plenty of game in there. But also, you could only play as Geralt of Rivia, the White Wolf, who went to the School of the Wolf, who knows Ciri. Do you know what I mean? Like, there was no RP aspect. There was no decision making. You could make the odd, like, you could kill this person or like you could choose the outcome of dilemmas, but ultimately you were playing Geralt of Rivia with a backstory, a set story. You were playing a known character.
Yeah.
And in this, like, you get to make your own V and choose, like, are they good? Are they evil? Are they a corpo? Are they a nomad? Are they gay? Are they a woman? Are they a man? Do you know what I mean? You can't do that with Geralt of Rivia. And I think that means that this game's going to have... I'm going to come out and say, I honestly believe a minimum of 5 ways to play the game completely differently. Completely different.
I feel you. Yeah.
And I do mean that. I mean, like, the difference between running a Netrunner Nomad and a Corpo Solo, for example. And, like, one's male, one's female, different romance options, all that stuff, where you play through the game, and each time you play, only, like, the skeleton is the same, and all the meat on top is totally different.
Yeah.
I think 5 solid, and what we guessing, like 40 to 60 hours. So I mean, that's 5. What's 5 times 6? 300 hours.
Yeah.
Of like unique gameplay, or somewhere in there, which I hope that's roughly about right. I mean, goodbye to my free time, but still.
Did we have much free time in the first place, and now it's going to get eaten up by this?
Yes.
Yeah, I when I saw this, it actually did. I didn't have any doubts in me that this game was going to be short. I didn't have any doubts in me that this game wasn't going to satisfy the urge that I have in terms of the amount of content. I always knew there was going to be, based on all of the Night City wires, based on all of the information that we've got, based on the fact that Cyberpunk itself, both in Red 2020 and now like 2077, stuff like that, having so much source material and so much thought going into everything, I knew that this game was going to be jam-packed with content, enough for anybody to sink their teeth into and get enough out of it to feel satisfied. But putting this out there seemed to have shut up a lot of... The thing is that being the way that I'm now... I want to be in the Cyberpunk world, and when everyone talks about it online, I want to be there so I can see it. So I'm always on Twitter, and I'm always looking at replies on things like that. There are a group of people out there that think that this game is going to be an absolute flop because they've overhyped it themselves, and there's no way this. And any turn, there's always something. It's like, oh, this game's going to be short. Oh, this game is going to be... I don't know, it's going to be transphobic, it's going to be this, it's going to be that bullshit. And I'm just like, I'm so happy when stuff like this comes out to be like, now you look like an idiot. Now you look like an idiot. Everyone's going to enjoy this game, and you're going to be sitting on the sideline, and you're going to be there with egg on your face. You're
going to be the one dickhead that couldn't just give it a shot, you know?
Right? And that's the thing. Those are the types of... I think everybody goes through a phase like that, at least at some point. You know those people that say, like, oh, you shouldn't do that, and then when nothing happens, they stay silent and everyone enjoys their life, and that they hope to not be noticed. That's what's going to happen to them, except the alternative is that you could have been excited for something and then play something amazing and enjoy yourself, and you're not going to get that. That's the alternative right there. And that's I'm hoping this has kind of reaffirmed at least the amount of content in the game for us to be able to enjoy. I know that it's going to be quite funny because we're planning to make content for this game as well.
Yeah.
I don't understand how we're going to play multiple life paths on this game and make content and interact with our fans and our bros over on the Discord server. I was planning to stream as well this game, but I honestly don't know how I'm going to stream, play my own life path, and do spoiler-free stuff, and make content at the same time.
Yeah.
And have a baby as well on the side. This is not going to work out. I don't know how I'm going to do this.
Yeah, it's a lot to ask. To be honest, I just... Look, as long as the game's good.
Yeah.
That's the big deal. And I hope that this is a game like... for example, I made that little Ghost of Tsushima channel.
Yep.
And the reason I haven't kept up really with posting, I'm going to maybe do a few more streams, but I think I'm just going to end it, is because, although I absolutely love the game, what I wanted for it was something more along the lines of what Ethan does for Red Dead Redemption. But the problem with Ghost of Tsushima, while I love it and it's incredible, is it just doesn't have that same content bulk.
Yeah.
You know? Where... It just doesn't, and that's it's not a criticism. It's just I had assumed that it probably would, and it doesn't. And so the kind of content I plan to make isn't really available in the game.
Yeah.
But I get the impression that it's very much the case for Cyberpunk.
Damn right.
So-
Damn right.
And I really want to do it.
And luckily, we've put our name down for Cyberpunk, so no one else can actually do content for Cyberpunk.
Yeah, it's literally just us on YouTube there, and no one else
Exactly.
allowed, I think.
We called dibs. We called dibs on
did.
that. So if
We
you
did.
guys do see anybody out there who does make Cyberpunk content, you can let them know that what they're doing is actually infringing on our territory.
It's true.
We will pull out our cyber weapons and we'll go full on gang war on them. And yeah, and if it's one of the 4 pillars that happens to do it, so be it. We'll cut ties with them. We'll cut
frick 'em.
ties right there. Exactly.
Frick 'em.
Yeah, but that's made me feel really good about the time, the amount of content in the game, at least right there. Going back to the leaked gameplay and stuff like that, I've managed to successfully dodge it. Like you said, I've
Good.
managed to block all that shit out and not be able to see it. I'm like full on Neo in the first Matrix, just like backwards and whatnot. But people have posted it online, and it's all prior to the day 1 patch. So people are saying like, oh, this is happening, that's happening. I'm not reading too much into them, so I'm not going to give details as well here and stuff like that. But what's really funny to me is that people are coming up with downright ridiculous claims on the game that are immediately getting refuted by people. Mm-hmm. So like, for example, they're saying things like, I don't want to say it because I don't want to put any sort of like things into people's minds, but they're saying things that then developers are coming out and they're afterwards are saying that's completely false. Like, what is the objective here by you just lying outright to people about things that we could easily refute? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, oh, it turns out you can actually start the KKK in 2077. Like,
Stuff like that, exactly.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, and they're just
You
like,
can go to Nuremberg and give a speech, and everybody really likes you at this rally as long as you say stuff that's like anti-fucking whatever, you know.
yeah, it's really, really dumb, really dumb.
This is not true.
It's so dumb, and I don't understand what their intent is, especially because they do have gameplay, so they do have the game. I don't know why they were like, they're interested enough to go and get the game. Why would they spend money on something that they hate? It's really strange. Anyway, spoilers are out there, guys. Be careful. Be careful online. If you're on Twitter, you might want to blacklist a few words and stuff like that. Obviously, whitelist myself and Sheps over here when we talk about stuff. It's going to be great. But while you're down there, you can block all the people that you hate. You know, James and whatnot, stuff like that.
You know the people.
You know the people. But yeah. Speaking of gameplay footage, and you did mention it earlier.
It's funny because I was going to segue when you said speaking of the stuff that's in the game, because
There you go.
I have concerns.
Okay, so let's talk about, first of all, CDPR released PlayStation footage, PlayStation 4 Pro and PlayStation 5 gameplay footage
They did.
officially, and they showed it off a bit like the Xbox One was. It's out there. It's not a very long clip. It's like 5 minutes long or so.
Yeah.
Nothing too serious there, but it showcases what it will look like on the PlayStation 4 Pro and PlayStation 5, specifically the Pro and the PS5. They're still not showing Xbox One footage and PS4 footage, the base consoles, for obvious reasons, I think, right there. But it doesn't bode well for those people. How do you feel about the gameplay footage that we've seen so far, and what are your concerns that you're talking about?
My big concern is the footage actually looks pretty good.
Yeah.
The way it looks is great.
Yeah.
The world feels kind of empty to me.
Yeah.
Like we saw in that footage, they're driving around Night City. And there's this particular mission with Jackie driving and V shooting.
Yeah.
And I gotta be honest, apart from like the couple of NPCs that are in the clip because Jackie's driving is pre-programmed, right? It's effectively a cutscene that you interact with.
Yeah.
Apart from the NPCs, the people walking around that he has to avoid, there's no one on the streets. And now look, it at least in that footage, it is raining. And it seems to be late at night. So I get it. There would be fewer people out. But if it's raining at 3 o'clock in the morning in London or LA or New York, like there's still more than 2 people out, And so the world feels a tad empty to me. And I'm worried because of that. I still think the game's going to be great. And I'm telling myself like, oh, it's the time of day and it's raining and it's the part of the city and all that stuff. But a little bit of me is I am still concerned. It just feels just that bit too empty. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Like, let me know if
no. I'm actually on the same thing. I was just giving you space so you can like air your concerns right there. I'm actually on the same page as you. I had the same thoughts at the first gameplay that we saw from the Xbox One X and the Xbox Series X, but I reserved my judgment. I mentioned it on Twitter. I said the world does look a little bit empty. I wanted to voice my thoughts on the look of it first of all and how it was running.
Yeah.
It did look a little bit choppy on the Xbox One X, and I said that. And I want to say it looked great it runs better on the Xbox Series X as it should, as we said. But the world did look empty. But I reserved my judgment, and I said I'm gonna hold back until I see more, because it could have just been this one scene in this one particular day, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then when we got the PS5 footage and it was essentially the same, there was a few more NPCs, and there was those NPCs that Jackie drives through, but that's essentially, like you said, pre-scripted. It's like a cutscene almost and whatnot. It does sort of bring into question, like, what is going on there? This is supposed to be like a full living, alive world, and it doesn't seem like there's enough people to populate this world. It's so strange to me because they do have a gorgeous looking city, and a city that looks like it's built like it would be built organically. Like they built some
stuff
building
goes on top of stuff.
Yes, exactly. Like they were like, okay, we built this. We need more space, but we don't have space. Let me add it on top of here. It seems like a legit way you would build a city.
Yeah. When you run out of space, like if you go anywhere in London, if you look hard enough, there is an alley with a restaurant down at the end of it.
Yes.
You know, or like a door that looks like a basement. You're like, I didn't even know people did basements here, and it's a workshop because there wasn't space, and for some reason they couldn't go up or sideways, so they went down, or like, things get built up, or you have this place and stuff gets built around it, so it looks like they tunneled in, but actually it was built around it. Like, the city looks like you say, it looks like it sprung up organically.
Yeah. It looks so real in that sense. It's just the only thing, it doesn't seem like it's very populated. And there are some scenes that they show off where they I think this was in the Xbox gameplay, where they're going into almost like the red light district almost, or something like that, late at night. And they have people scattered about, but they don't seem like they're actually there. They seem like they've been placed there. Yes. I'm like, it just doesn't seem... seem right, you know?
It feels like it's one step above having a couple of T-posed models there.
Yes,
do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
now, sorry, go on. Yeah.
No, it just doesn't feel like anyone's there for a reason.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know what the reason is for that, though, because the problem is that, like, other games, they do it fine. So, like, in The Witcher, for example, you have people that are organically walking around. They've got their tasks that they're doing. Obviously, it's not as next gen, because the hardware was limited then, so they can't actually have a life or anything like that. But Red Dead Redemption does it, and it does it on the PS4. GTA does it, and it does it on the PS4. Like I said, The Witcher does it, and it does it on the PS4. Mm-hmm. What limitation could there be for them to not do it in this? It seems strange to me. I don't know what's going on there. I really don't know.
Like I said, I have concerns about that. I think there's enough game, you know?
Yeah.
The problem is, so like, Red Dead did it really well. Ghost of Tsushima did it really well. It feels like when you go to places in those games, that the NPCs are there for a reason.
Yeah.
You know? Like, if you go to a fishing village, it feels like, even though you never actually see them take the boat out and go fishing, that you're just a few minutes away from that guy fixing his net and getting on the ship and going out there. You know, when you find yourself at a logging cabin in Red Dead, it feels like those guys are out there doing logging stuff or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so the place feels alive. Now, to look at Night City, it looks like it's alive and there are people down there doing stuff. And we saw that in the Night City Wire. Mm-hmm. And then the problem is, now that we're actually looking inside the city, we don't see the people or the volume of people you would need for a city to spring up around stuff. You know, like you said, which is one of the things that makes it feel like it's a real city, is that it feels organic. Well, not if there's no one there.
I will say two things to you that seem just. It seems strange based on what we've observed. CDPR haven't said anything, and I'm sure we're not the only people in the world that have noticed the amount of people and stuff like that. And also, there have been people that have the game and they've put out light reviews, although some of these reviews I would not recommend going looking for them because they talk about characters and stuff like that haven't even been revealed yet, which is fucking bonkers to me. I don't know how you're that stupid to put on that kind of information into a game that hasn't come out yet. That's so story focused.
Yeah.
But I've read some light reviews that people have summarized and taken out all the spoilers, and nobody mentions the amount of people in the streets or anything like that. They all seem to say, yeah, it does seem like a nice living world and stuff like that. And they say that the first person feels a lot better than what people were thinking. You know, there was the whole third person, first person debate, whether or not it should have been third person. They're saying the combat feels good.
I still feel third person is the way to go. And I hope that for the next gen update, that's included.
I hope so too. But I feel like they're saying that it feels better than a normal first person. I don't know what that means. I don't know how that could possibly be, but that's what they're saying.
Sure.
We'll have to get it and see, but it would be so cool to get a next gen update, right? That says, here you go, third person, guys. Great. But that's what people are saying. And it's such a weird disconnect. We're seeing the lack of people, and all of these people that are reviewing it, at least, they're saying nothing about it.
But are they gamers or are they game journalists? You know,
there's always that question.
Games journalists,
there's always that question.
I mean, look, they aren't people, and so they don't understand that human beings build cities. You know, that's one of the things that all the footage from Ratchet and Clank. Do you remember when we were watching it and we were like, not only is the ray tracing amazing and blah blah blah, but like everybody's there for a reason, and they all seem to react to. And you don't know what that reason is. They're like fluffy aliens or whatever, but
yeah.
Like, when something bursts through the window, they all react appropriately, you know?
Yeah.
And it felt like it was a city that we started out in, and it felt busy. And currently, from what we're seeing, it doesn't look like if you stray from the main mission path, that you get that busy city. You know? Like, I want to drive around Night City and drive past... Like, look, if you drive past a basketball court, there should be people there playing basketball. It's a city. People are trying to enjoy their free time or kill some time or do whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or like, is it the 6th Street gang? You know, the guys, right? Like, if you drive around one of those areas, it shouldn't just be like, oh, those NPCs in that one spot. Like, when you go through those other houses, there should be other people doing things, you know?
And that's what we hope there is. Obviously, they are very secretive when it comes to their gameplay for obvious reasons, because it's a big, heavy story game, and they realize that. We are very, very close to release. I don't think there's anything that we can do about it now. I think we just have to wait for the game to come and see for ourselves.
I think you're right.
And maybe this is the optimist in me. But maybe that's the reason why CDPR aren't saying anything about it. Maybe they're just going, guys, we could tell you, but you're gonna see it in like 2 weeks' time. You're just gonna see it now, and maybe it's gonna be great. Maybe it's gonna be awful. I have no idea. We're gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, that's Cyberpunk for you there. Got anything else you want to talk about just before we switch topics?
I think on Cyberpunk, I think it's gonna be okay. I really do. We've only seen from the official stuff that's come out, which is all you and I are looking at. I think they're just being really specific about what they show, so as not to give away anything else, right? Especially because they know there are people out there that they'll see the tiniest thing and they'll figure something out, right?
I mean, I did that with the fucking... sorry to cut you off just there. There was this one scene in the PlayStation 5 gameplay where Jackie was driving, and there was like some gangers that were trying to jack someone in a car, and then those of you guys that didn't notice, there was a hover ship that came along, dropped some people down and shot some guys. Those people are called MaxTac. They're the people in the original trailer teaser that was about to shoot that woman with the mantis blades.
Yeah.
They're those high level mother truckers. They're like the SWAT of the SWAT team. And I was, and they weren't even mentioned, and they were so far away, but I knew straight away from all the source material. I was like, I know those motherfuckers. I know who they are. And if they were to show more stuff, like you said, there'll be people like me, like fucking dickheads, that would just dissect it apart and take it all apart right there.
Exactly. And so I'm choosing to believe that that's why we're seeing what we're seeing, because they're very specifically trying not to show much, if anything. Like not even, and I even mean like areas of the city. You know, because I guarantee some of that stuff will have been mentioned and described in the tabletop games, and people will know. And if they know that it's there, then they'll know that some NPC is there, right?
Yeah.
Like if it says like Zhao's Diner, they will know that the character of Zhao is in the game.
Yeah.
You know, but 50 years down the line, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's why. So I'm cautiously optimistic, but again, I don't have a PS5, so I'm also worried about that.
Yeah, God. Speaking of PlayStation 5s, we can nicely segue into our next bunch of topics, which is going to be a few back-to-back PlayStation 5 topics.
Yeah.
So, based on preliminary data by VG Charts, it's a website that likes to track a lot of like game sales and console sales. It's all estimates based on the industry insiders and stuff like that, so take it with a pinch of salt. Based on those preliminary data, the PlayStation 5 has sold between 2.1 and 2.5 million units worldwide in its combined 2 launch days. So on the 12th and the 19th only. Right there, which is what PlayStation call their their biggest console launch ever, according to them. So that's really, really good stuff right there for PlayStation. There's more PlayStation 5s out there than they can actually produce.
There is one problem with that though.
Go ahead.
I don't know if this is one of the topics. I genuinely don't know, but it's something I want to talk about, which is that a large number of those PlayStations are not in the hands of gamers.
That's
They're in
exactly
the hands
right.
of scumbag bot using scalpers.
That's right, and that is actually one of our topics, and I'll bring that up now. Scalpers can suck balls, I actually wrote here. Because in an interview with Business Insider, which is a website that you can go to, a group that I'm not going to mention their goddamn name because they don't deserve the light of day, they've got a network of resellers. So they're essentially like in a Discord server where they all coordinate together and they all use bots and they share programs and stuff like that, who have bought over 3,500 PlayStation 5s in the UK alone.
Yeah.
And are selling them on places like eBay and Gumtree and whatnot. And they are the reason why actual gamers haven't got these consoles. Now that's
I would
just
rather switch to Xbox if it meant these motherfuckers starve.
Exactly.
I'm not even joking. I would genuinely rather wait till 2021 than give these guys money. I really hope that enough people go, this is a problem and I'm not going to be part of it, and leave these guys in the lurch with all this stock, having to try and figure out how they're gonna make their money back, and then enough time goes past that they restock and people just get their PS5s.
It's actually disgusting. These people are genuine assholes, and I wish them everything that they've got coming to them. It's PlayStation. It's all down to PlayStation right now. So first of all, it's the problem is really the retailers who don't have any sort of, they don't care really. They just care as long as they get their money. That's all they really care about, and they don't have any sort of protections against like bots and stuff like that who can just buy things up and whatnot. I was curious why it was selling out so quickly when I was trying to look for your one, when it was like seconds into it and sold out. I was very curious, and now I know why. But it's up to PlayStation now to up the production and to hopefully get as many PlayStation 5s out there to flood the market that then they can't purchase anymore, that then it overflows into us, you know?
Yeah, I really hope that they've seen the demands there. Like, I think reasonably both Xbox and PlayStation, Microsoft and Sony were like, it's COVID times, the calamity's upon us. Like, maybe people won't want these things, or maybe people that don't have the cash.
Yeah.
But we've seen that for whatever reason, people are still definitely down to get these consoles. We do want them.
Exactly. They should just up it straight to maximum production now and just go for it, right?
Right, exactly.
This is actually the lowest level of scumbaggery right here. Like, I hate, don't get me wrong, like, everybody universally hates scalpers. We universally hate scalpers, people who just want to prey on people wanting a cool thing. But these guys are extra bastards right here. Not only is it affecting us, but it's affecting all of like our fans. There's tons of people in our group as well, our little community we've got here on the internet that haven't got this console, who watch my streams, who watch their favorite YouTuber streams, who are like, God, I really want to play that game, but I can't, I haven't got it. Or even they wanted to get it for Christmas, but they can't because their parents can't get it, or they don't have the money because these scalpers have taken up all the stock. They are the lowest of scumbags. They are the scum on the bottom of your shoe that need to just be pushed into the ground and just be wiped away.
And to be clear, look, we're not talking about, someone that they want a PlayStation and they put down 2 pre-orders in case they don't get one, and they both come through and they're like, cool, well, I'll just sell the second one, right? And maybe I'll make a bit of money on it.
Yeah.
Cool, whatever, man. We're talking about the guys that go out and buy 50.
Those pictures, have you seen them on Twitter and stuff like that? Of just someone's got like a stack, like 20 high and 20 deep. Just like, here you go, I've got tons of PS5s. Anyone wants to buy one? $2,000, $1,000, whatever it might be. Just absolute bastards.
Yeah, I won't. No thanks.
No, thank you. At the beginning, there were people there was some what can I say, heroes. They can only be described as heroes who made some bot programs to bid on eBay listings of people that posted these consoles, and would just bid them up ridiculously to like £80,000 or whatever, and then not pay for them. With
amazing.
Like dummy accounts.
Heroes.
I was like, heroes right there. You're just missing a cape. That's all you're missing right there.
Yeah, I really genuinely hope they are the reason that these guys starve.
Yeah,
and then their kids starve. All of them. They all starve, and then the kids are taken away, but people know they're the kids of scalpers, so they let them starve again.
There you go. That's our official stance on scalpers right there. Let their kids starve. That's exactly right there. Put it on the box. We did have one of our bros, James, write in, and I felt like it was fitting for you to answer his question right here.
Okay.
He goes, do you have any words of consolation for people who couldn't get a PS5? Is there anything you can say to help ease the pain of our bros right here, bro?
Yes, because I'm one of you. I know the pain that you're going through, and believe me, when our time comes, we will overthrow the bourgeoisie who took our PlayStation 5s, right? We will redistribute the gaming amongst the gamers, and I can't remember any more marks.
I was imagining just like this amazing when you're like reading out the in Pacific Rim when Idris Elba's saying that, and we'll cancel the apocalypse, the rising
we will
music
not go
in the background.
quietly into the night.
Yes, that as well. Yes, Independence Day. Nice. I like it. That's what I was imagining right there. God, James, you've got a bro here who's also suffering as well, and I'm actually suffering because we don't get to talk about Spider-Man. We don't get to talk about any of the games that have come out together here. We've been limited because of these frickers, right?
I was going to make a tweet about it, but then I decided just to attack you for no reason. But the thing about it is that it doesn't just suck for the people that didn't get the PS5. Mm-hmm. It sucks because, now maybe not for guys like Ethan and the other 4 pillars. Like, I know they're really all genuinely more into the first person stuff, but we like to play together.
Yes.
A lot. If we're going to play... If really, we're either playing a story game or we're jamming, you and me.
Yeah. And
so that genuinely means that like you only have half of a PS5.
Yeah.
And actually, it's less than that because typically we're going to play a lot of the same games and we can talk about them and how you liking this feature. And as much as I was going to make this tweet, but this is serious. It's like I hope it's not a lot, but I bet that having a PS5 is a little bit hollow right now for you.
It is. It really is. I couldn't convey it properly when it was coming up to launch. It really soured the taste of the whole thing for me, because I was like, I don't get to play with my mate. I don't get to talk about the games with my mate. I don't get to jump on this podcast and talk with all of our mates that are watching right now about all of the games that we're playing, because I have no one else to talk to about it. It has hollowed it for me. I can sit here and enjoy the next gen graphics and see this stuff, but then if I can't go to my friend and say, hey bro, what did you think of this? Oh, I really like that thing, then it takes away a lot, you know?
Yeah, or just like even that first day, like, oh man, how fast are the load times? Or, oh, you know, this feature, like, oh, you got to switch it on. Like, you know, those little bits, we're not getting to do that. And,
exactly.
And
so these scalpers robbed you guys as well at home of content. They robbed you guys of content because we can't make them together.
It's true.
I want you guys to remember that. Also, as well as PlayStation 5 selling up to 2.5 million units worldwide, VG Charts also estimated that the Xbox Series X and S combined in its first 24 hours sold between 1.2 and 1.4 million units, which is quite a lot less than the PS5.
Significantly less, even with the budget going for silver like you predicted. Move.
Exactly. Especially when they had the cheapest console on the market, you know. They sold a lot less. And Phil Spencer came out to say that this is the biggest launch of Xbox history. Which doesn't say much, does it? It really doesn't say much. I love that they were like, first of all, they said, oh, this is bigger than the Xbox One launch. And I was like, yeah, but the Xbox One launch there was the Don Matrick days.
It was potentially one of the worst console launches ever.
Exactly.
And the Ouya was a thing.
In terms of PR as well, I would say it was the worst launch ever. But yeah, that's that right there. But yeah, we'll see. Currently, the same thing though applies. There's no stock of Xbox anywhere. There was the other day in Argos and Currys where they got some extra stock and they did another sale. So maybe their supply chain is picking up and whatnot, but it is still sold out everywhere. Maybe they correctly estimated how many people wanted them at a low ball area. Yeah. But that's those numbers right there. Is it going to turn out to be again a PlayStation 5 in the lead in sales numbers, just like the Xbox One and PS4?
It's going to be a bloodbath.
I think so too. It's I know that for most people, it's not for most people. For some people out there, it's like, it's not a competition. It's about you playing games and whatnot. But end of the day, these two companies, if they get more sales, if they get more people on their system, then they can put that into more games and put that into more services for you, and you benefit from it.
That's the thing. So I always worry when we shit on Xbox that guys like Dan are going to think that we're attacking him, because I know he plays PC and he has both consoles.
Yes. But
the thing is, that exact counterpoint of like, it's not about the console, it's about playing the games. Yeah, exactly. Well, there isn't much to play on the Xbox. There's not a lot. Mm-hmm. You know? Yeah. And look, Game Pass, yeah, it's a good deal, but I mean, it's an interesting service, but like you said, there's nothing on there that you would really want to go out and pay full retail for. But it's stuff at this price point, yeah, I'll give that a shot, you know?
Yes. That's the thing. People don't, while it is great value for money when you add up all of those games that you can play for that price.
Yeah.
But not one of them would you say, oh shit, I'm going to go out and buy that. I'm going to buy that right now. That game looks really interesting. I want to buy that. And that's the argument that I feel like everyone's skipping on. I will say there was a funny tweet, and I didn't want to bring this up, but I'm going to bring it up anyways, just like a little funny side remark right here. Apparently Phil Spencer in an interview was talking about console tribalism, as in like being setting an allegiance to a certain console and saying how it's...
The guy that says only on Xbox and everything.
Exactly.
Okay.
That guy, the guy that says only on Xbox, Xbox is the best place to play, he was saying that console tribalism is stupid. He's saying that it's idiotic and that it shouldn't happen. I was like, that's very rich coming from you, Phil Spencer. You know, that's funny right there. Anyway, I pointed that hypocrisy out on Twitter. It was quite funny. I just wanted to bring that up here as well. More things on the PlayStation. So recently it was the Golden Joystick Awards. Did you happen to catch any of the awards that happened there?
I saw a retweet So I didn't catch the awards, but I saw a retweet of someone that basically was like, haha, this is hilarious. It's the funniest joke I've ever seen. And it was, I believe The Last of Us won a few.
It won the best storytelling, the best visual design, the best audio, the studio of the year, best PlayStation game of the year, and the ultimate game of the year. So it won quite a few accolades right there.
It did. I'm going to be honest. I think it deserves most of those. I think genuinely, I think I'd probably give visual design to either Ghost of Tsushima or Persona 5.
Yeah, yeah.
But other than that, and people are like, huh, storytelling, what a joke! Like it's really well done.
Yeah, yeah.
It is really well done. You might not like it, but it is really well done.
Yes.
And there were a lot of things in there I didn't like, but it was really well done. You know.
I when I saw all of that, I was like, great, that's great. But then my second thought was, people are gonna have a lot of shit to say about this. This is gonna be one of those things that lights up Twitter. And then obviously in all of the replies, like I keep looking, just everyone going, I can't believe, of course, yeah, so the joystick's becoming rigged. I was like, first of all, did you ever really pay attention to the golden joysticks? Isn't it the Game Awards and that's the main one and that's it?
Yes.
Is it? I was gonna say, like last year we didn't pay any attention to it, so why do we pay attention to it now? Anyway,
so, it's funny you say that. I went back the other day and looked at this because I knew the awards were coming up and stuff, and looked at the Metacritic reviews.
Okay.
And I went back and read a lot of the negative ones.
Okay.
Because the good ones are, irrelevant, right?
Yeah.
Because they agree with me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to read people that agree with me. They're obviously right.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of those people haven't played the game.
Yeah, that's a lot of those reviews were probably put out before the game came out because they were just trying to ruffle feathers on the internet. They were trying to be losers, you know.
Even ones that didn't, it was it was things like the game's really good, and then halfway through you switched to playing as Abby, and I stopped playing.
So you didn't play the game.
Exactly, you didn't play the game, and look, I
it.
agree. I actually agree. It's pretty jarring,
yes.
And I also think you spend a bit too long as Abby.
Yep.
But it's still really well done.
Yeah.
It's still a really good story. It's in terms of telling the story. Because in fact, I've said this a few times, way before the game came out, which was like, there's like your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and then like the objective, what actually happened.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what the game gives you. Like, it gives you the other side of the coin, which is The Last of Us 2 is 2 revenge stories. Yeah. It's Abby getting revenge on the guy who murdered her father for trying to cure the world.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's Ellie getting revenge.
Spoilers.
Yeah. It's Ellie getting revenge on the person who murdered her father.
Yeah.
Right? And look, I'm totally who was totally down to burn the world. Mm-hmm. And like it shows that, and it shows the cost of what Abby did, because Ellie, rightfully so, kills literally everyone that matters to Abby. Literally everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And damn right. But like, as a storytelling device, it's really well done. And you get to see that like, these aren't just bad guys being bad because they're bad. Right? There's a bit more to it there. And look, fine, you don't like it. That's okay. But it is well done.
That's the problem that people seem to they seem to trip up on. They're like, but I didn't like it. But okay, you didn't like the story. It is well done though. It does have great visual design. It does have great audio design. It is a studio that worked very, very hard on this immense game. So it did win all of these awards,
Yeah,
there
absolutely.
right there. Also, one game that won the most anticipated upcoming game of 2021, God of War Ragnarok, which is interesting right
Fair.
there. I think that is genuinely the most anticipated game of next year. It would have been Cyberpunk if it got delayed one more time, but it didn't,
True.
so thank God. But the thing is that is God of War Ragnarok going to come out next year? That's the question.
No. There's no way. It can't possibly. But it will be my most awaited game all through 2021. But there's no way. Horizon Forbidden West, maybe. Because that'll have had 3.5, 4 years.
Yeah. I said to
And
myself,
even
I was
that-
like, they don't release like multiple games from Sony Studios all in one year. But then last year they did Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us, but Ghost of Tsushima was a brand new IP that they kind of didn't know whether it was going to light the world on fire or not. So it's not sending two heavy hitters against each other, you know? So I don't know. One other award that was completely mind-boggling to me, Samantha Saad, I hope I'm saying that name right there, won Voice Actor of the Year for Kamala Khan in Marvel's Avengers. Literally the only point that people, the main point that people bring up when they're talking about Marvel Avengers, and it's con point. They're like, okay, so Marvel Avengers, you get to play as the Avengers. Kamala Khan's voice, though, it's just too much. The voice acting is just not there. It's not good. You should maybe do that.
It's a tough one because, again, it's kind of like, what we said with The Last of Us, right? Did you like, you might not like it, but was it good? I haven't experienced enough of the game and enough of her acting. I know that the character is written horrendously.
And that was my thing. I've seen enough gameplay and watched enough streams of people playing it to say that I think the delivery, maybe it was direction, maybe it was that, but the character was not good.
Yeah, like I don't necessarily doubt that. Was it Samantha Saad?
Yeah, I think that's her name. Yeah,
I don't necessarily doubt her talent. Like, for example, Laura Bailey.
Yep.
And Ashley Johnson, who are both incredibly talented voice actors.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fan of their stuff, I've watched like compilation clips, like the voices of Laura Bailey and the voices of Ashley Johnson, like people you didn't know they voiced and stuff.
Yeah.
Some of those fucking suck, but they're really talented, right? The thing is, having seen what little I saw, which is like that first thing where she's in the like museum.
Yeah.
Like it's an Avengers museum thing and she meets Thor and stuff. Not only is the character horrendously written, it did feel like very flat delivery, personally, from that, and it was only like 10 minutes. I'm sure the game has much more in it, considering that you have Laura Bailey as Abby, Ashley Johnson as Ellie, who am I? Like you just have these incredible voice actors in these incredible roles.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Who did Jin? I thought Jin Sakai's voice actor was incredible.
Yeah. There's all these other great possibilities, these great people that they could have picked, and then they decided to go for like. And that's the thing. No one says, "Oh, Jin and thing like that," or anything like that. No one's ever said anything wrong about Jin. No one said anything wrong about Ashley Johnson. No one said anything wrong about Laura Bailey's performance in those recent games. But then they decided to give it to the one where people have brought up, even if it's not everyone, people have brought up problems with the voice acting. And
so
it's like
I'm actually a little bit worried.
Confusing.
I'm a little bit worried that these awards were given to the people that fit the rainbow flag star shapes, LGBTQ plus IIAL, LMNOP. Because if you think about it, The Last of Us is about it has the gay lead, the trans kid.
I don't think it's that. I think it's just purely that these people aren't gamers. These people don't know about games. They just
why would you give it to her?
No, I think they just.
She's not the main character. Is she the main character of the Avengers game?
It is kind of focused on her. It's like she's like you kind of experience the Avengers through her eyes and whatnot, stuff like that. But I think they just literally they went, The Last of Us is a big thing. A lot of our critic friends talk about it and whatnot, so we'll do that one. And they went on Metacritic one day. They went, okay, yeah, this has got some things right there, and it's the sequel to a big game. Okay, cool, no problem. And then they went, okay, Marvel Avengers and whatnot. There's this girl and whatnot. That's that one. Let's pick that one to change it up from a little bit from Last of Us. Let's not give it all to The Last of Us. I think they were just
many better
idiots.
voice actors in the game.
They're idiots. That's what I'm saying. They're just morons. Fucking Troy Baker in the fucking. He's an amazing voice actor, but they're just idiots. That's what I think it is.
That last scene of Ellie and Joel like patching things up the day before. That is one of the, in my opinion, one of the very most impactful scenes in a lot of games, in a lot like in gaming.
Slayed me, absolutely slayed me.
Yeah, especially because because it's even worse what happens the next day, because they were getting things back on track, and it's just so well done. And a lot of it is like, this is going to sound so stupid, but a lot of Troy Baker's side of that interaction is like silence, or like these like heavy emotional gulps, where he's like on the verge of tears, but like swallows and gets it under control.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's hard to do, obviously, you have to be a really good actor to do that.
I know it sounds stupid, but like it comes off so well in that scene. The fact that it didn't go to any of those three is beyond me. Absolutely beyond me.
That's what I'm saying. These guys are just morons, straight morons.
Or like, I'm just trying to think, what else came out this year?
I think those are the big hitters, and then there's like we said, Ghost of Tsushima.
I mean, what about like Final Fantasy VII? Why didn't that get anything?
But it's Final Fantasy, you know. I feel about that. It's kind of
true. Good point.
I raised a good point there, didn't I?
It seems like such a random thing to give it to a character that it seems universally nobody liked, to a game that universally was unliked. And I actually think Marvel Avengers was probably unliked unfairly for a lot of reasons, like, oh, they don't look anything like blah blah blah. Like, okay, fine, that's not a reason to dislike the game. The game can still be really good.
People are really hooked on the looks. I know maybe because we'd lived with Avengers for so long in terms of the MCU.
Oh yeah, I totally get that.
But when same thing happened with Spider-Man. You change the looks and everyone's just up at arms. And we still get comments to this day on our videos about the Peter Parker face change thing, and people are still heated about it. I'm like, guys, we're in a world where there's this huge calamity. People are dying. People are locked down. People are suffering. We've all got other games to play. We've launched a new gen console. Move the heck on.
I also find it super funny because like the next update to that game was Miles Morales, and they functionally made Peter Parker, who's like a 20-year-old dude, into like a 15-year-old black kid, and no one bats an eyelid at Miles, but he's functionally Pete. He is, for all intents and purposes, he's Peter Parker 2.0.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And no one cares, but you change the face on one model, and people lose their minds. And
terrible. Awful.
And also, like, neither of them look bad. It's not like they were like, here's Peter Parker, but we want to change it. I know, we'll just stick Willem Dafoe's face on him. It's not that. Like, they didn't suddenly make Pete Denzel Washington.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like, it's not that bad. And it actually, and I don't agree with it, but with this as a play, if this is your only reason, but he does look more Tom Holland-ish.
Yeah.
Which makes sense if the whole problem with the MCU was that it didn't, the Marvel game, is that it didn't look enough like the MCU, then switching your Spider-Man to look more like the Tom Holland, it makes sense, right?
Then it fits. And at the end of the day, what does it do?
Man. People are so weird.
So weird. Anyway, those were the awards that were given out. We still have the Game Awards that's going to happen on the 10th of December. I don't know if there's anybody that's actually going to be watching it, because we'll all have Cyberpunk. So who cares, Jeff Keighley? You picked a very bad day for that.
I just hold on though. Am I going to pre-order Cyberpunk?
Oh, I mean, I already owe you Cyberpunk, so I'm going to get it from a bet that we lost.
Okay, cool. Never mind then. I've got Cyberpunk coming.
You still owe me a steak, but I owed you Cyberpunk, yeah.
That seems like a totally fair trade to me. I feel like I'm coming out on top on that.
Yeah, so it's not a fair trade then, motherfucker.
That's how I consider a fair trade to work.
If I'm on top, that's fair.
Right. Okay, well, I'll definitely have to get you a steak. I mean, it'll be interesting I'm going to definitely cap the base PS4 footage of, like, loading it in and stuff like that, so we can compare. But I want to cap some footage of day 0 without the patch. That's what I want to cap. I want to see what that looks like. I could take the Ethernet cable out.
Yes,
and just What? Okay, boys.
All over the shop, just fucking the world's upside down. You can't even meet Jackie.
Do we want to see it? Because I will do it if enough of you ask for it. So I need you to hit me up on Discord, Twitter, whatever your favorite place is, and tell me you want to see that. Because I will cap that footage for... How long are we going to go? Because what happens if it runs smoothly up until like hour 5, and that's where the first big bug is? Do you know what I mean? How long am I going to go before adding the patches in?
First things first, it's you, so there's always going to be bugs.
This is the problem, innit? We need the official bugs. You know?
The official bugs. And second of all, that would be funny if you can get to like midway through one life path and not have anything that's actually game breaking and be like, CDPR, what the hell did you delay it for?
Why did you delay this game? Why did this game take 8 years? I'm running the 2018 build and it's perfect.
Oh, God. Anyway, that should be quite fun. I think we should do it. But guys, let Sheps know if we should do something like that. Maybe you could stream it or something like that just to enjoy it with the guys.
Well, how am I going to stream it?
We'll work something out. We can work something out.
Yeah, maybe I could.
There you go.
Maybe
right
I could stream the no patch based PS4 Cyberpunk. All right, boys. In the comments section, on Twitter, all that stuff, hit me up, let me know. I'm willing to suffer for you.
There we go, boys.
By the way, anybody that's a true gamer or above, your votes count double.
Double. That's right there.
And 10 points to anybody that's a super bro.
There we go. Boom. Boom. The next topic, if you don't mind me moving on, I wanted to bring up something that's been happening that's quite strange. It did happen last week, but we forgot to mention it.
Okay, that doesn't sound like us.
That doesn't sound like us. People that are ordering the disc version of the PlayStation 5, the discless version of the PlayStation 5, are getting the disc version of their PlayStation 5 when it's delivered. Now, the strange part about that is that they're ordering the digital in the digital box, and then when they unbox it, they've got a disc version, essentially a free upgrade in the box.
Good guy, Sony, man.
Sony, right? What do you think is going on here? Do you have any sort of theories? Because I have a tinfoil hat theory.
Let me hear your tinfoil hat, man.
I think this is being done on purpose. Now, whether it's being done on purpose by Sony or whether it's being done on purpose by like Foxconn, the people that like put together the console and whatnot, someone's doing it on purpose because, I mean, no one's going to care if they get a disc version in place of a discless version, right? That's a totally good upgrade. If you do it the opposite way around, it's shit.
Like, you may not love the styling of the disc. It looks way better without the disc drive. It just does. And I'm hoping there'll be a PS5 Pro with a middle disc, drive.
But no one's going to care if it's that way.
Yeah, because you can always treat it like it's digital only. You can always just download everything, right?
Exactly. And the cost of the drives, they're peanuts when it comes to manufacturing, right?
Yeah.
And if it's done at the manufacturing level, like they just go like PlayStation put in an order for 2 million digital versions, but we've only got 1 million or 1.5 million. Fuck. Okay, just put the discs version in there. It's not going to cost us anything. It's not going to cost us anything, and we get to fulfill our order. It's fine, right?
That is what I think it is. I think they went out and they said, let's say the order number, let's say it's 5 million units, just hypothetically, right? To keep things round. If they said, we don't expect the digital to be that popular, we'll do 1 million units of digital only and 4 million units of disc drives.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that it's like 2 million orders for digital only. Well, then they just go, well, screw it. Give them we want them to be on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
We don't want to delay it, so give them the free upgrade basically.
Exactly. We have these disc drive ones here. Fucking just give it to them. Give that one to them. Fucking just give it. So, I think that's what's genuinely happening, and fucking great for those people who are getting it.
Yeah, really good deal for them. I just don't know if what the conspiracy is, though.
Oh no, I mean, when I say conspiracy, I'm thinking more like this is what's happening behind the scenes. Like we don't know, but it is happening. But not really like there's a nefarious thing going on, because there really isn't anything nefarious.
Yeah.
But just I think that's what's happening in the background right there. as I said, if it's happening at manufacturing, it's even better for Sony because they don't have to eat any of the cost, because it's the manufacturing that's deciding to fulfill the orders with and taking the hit, right?
Maybe. I mean, definitely maybe.
Definitely maybe. But that's something that's interesting happening there. Another thing, The Last of Us 2 might be getting a PlayStation 5 upgrade very soon, according to Best Buy's website. Yes.
I don't. A little bit of me. I don't want to play the game again, if that makes sense. I don't feel compelled to play it in the way that I might want to play. I don't know, something a bit more light, like Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes.
Right. But with the PS5 update, I'm ready to be hurt again.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a tough one. I've not wanted to go back to The Last of Us, even though I haven't got the platinum for it yet. I don't think I can stand the emotional weight on me again that game gave me. I don't know if I can, but a PlayStation 5 upgrade could be coming in the future. There's no official announcement just yet, but this was put on the Best Buy website with a little banner there that said PS5 upgrade available as well, coming soon. So
I want to see you fight the Rat King on Grounded.
Oh, you're speaking my language now. Grounded mode. That's what it's all about, boys.
I feel like two groups of people in the world can sit down and have a conversation where it sounds like they're talking about the same thing, but they're not. And those groups of people are the people that play like you on Grounded and Crushing and all that stuff, right? And then also there's people that suck farts out of people in gimp suits, where they get degraded, and you just sit down and you would think that you're having a discussion about the same thing, oh man, I just love the struggle and the feeling of when you finally get it done, there's just nothing that beats that, and it's painful and it's degrading, but at the end, when you've made it,
God,
and then they're like, I love Bondage too, and you're like, wait, what? I thought we were talking about playing on Grounded, and they're like, wait, we're not, what?
Wait, what? Right. That's terrible. That is actually terrible right there.
But also true.
That's right. So that could be happening, guys. Another little update. Red Dead Redemption is getting a standalone version of its online mode, Red Dead Redemption Online.
Sick.
And they're charging $5?
I mean,
why? Just
if that came with one announcement, it needs an additional 5 words, which are, and Rockstar is supporting it.
Yes.
And then some. Even I would be interested, and I haven't actually played Red Dead, and I want to. The worst thing is I recently finished Hell on Wheels, which is almost the episodic show version of Red Dead in a sense.
Okay.
It's cowboy times, and it's about the dudes building the railroad. It's a really good show.
Right.
Really good. And I feel by the way, I know this is a true gamer, but it somewhat relates. We've made recommendations before. If we recommend something, you can be assured it might not be your thing, but it will be high quality, right? It will be something that most people would enjoy. Maybe it's just not your thing. I really want to play Red Dead. I really want to play it, but it's very big. As you've said, we don't have all that much spare time. Mm-hmm. And Cyberpunk's about to come, and I'm getting it apparently. Yes, you are. So,
apparently, we mentioned it in the group chat the other day in one of our Discord channels. People were saying, "Wait a minute! Oh no, I think it was Toby Kimosabi Cream Pies." He was saying, I feel weird saying his username. He was saying, "Hold on a second, has Sheps not played Red Dead?" And I was like, "Yeah, he hasn't played Red Dead." And then I said also, "Yeah, he hasn't played Spider-Man as well." And he's like, "What?"
That one surprised me as well. We actually had. Okay, so gamers, this is a real conversation that me and Ed had. I think we were driving somewhere, and you mentioned something about something that happens in Spider-Man PS4, and I was like, wait, what? And then it turned out I actually just haven't played it, and I somehow missed it. But because it's Spider-Man, I think we determined what actually happened was because it's a Spider-Man game. We knew it was I knew it was good. Of course it's good. It's Spider-Man.
It was a combination of it's Spider-Man. You've seen enough like photo modes and stuff online. People have spoken about it. It's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The story, we know all about how Spider-Man becomes Spider-Man and what he does and all of his villains and stuff like that. So
Right.
by absorbing all that information tangentially and like by osmosis, you just assumed you had played the game.
Yes, and I'm not even joking. I was like, well, it's Spider-Man. Of course I've played it.
Of course.
Of course I've played it. And also because you had it. And I
then
knew I knew I hadn't bought it.
And then we spoke about it. It was like, wait a minute, have you not played Spider-Man?
Yeah, because then you were like, wait, I never gave it to you, did I? And I was like, no, you haven't given it to me. And then I was like, then how did I play it? And then we started talking about it, and I haven't played it. But I have played it. I just haven't actually played it, if you know what I mean. Right?
That makes no sense, but some people will go, yes.
Right. Like the audio versions know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
And it was super weird, but it like... I also don't intend to play it. I'll just play Miles Morales because then
Yeah.
And also because it was funny because you said that thing about when Aunt May dies, and I was like, I don't remember that.
And then it was
How did I figure? Because the worst thing is because of our memories being the way they are. I could have forgotten that. I could have played it and forgot it.
We're that dumb. We're that dumb.
We really are. So that took me by shock.
Anyway, yeah, so back to Red Dead Redemption and whatnot. Them doing the online mode and charging people $5, it's kind of like one of those terrible relationships where like you don't want to do anything because the other person isn't doing something, and you're like, well, I'm not going to make the first step, so you make the first step. And that's Rockstar, this giant multi-billion-dollar company, going, well, you buy the game first, and if enough of you buy it, then we'll do something about it.
Then we'll improve it. Then we'll make it worth playing.
Then we'll make it worth playing. We'll add content to it. And that's just so shitty, Who the hell wants that? Who the hell wants to do that?
It's also like Red Dead came out in 2018, right?
18, yes.
Yeah. So it's 2 years later. We've just had next gen launch. You've got Cyberpunk coming out. Which, look, guys, I know some of you are hardcore Red Dead fans, but I bet there's not many of you, not knowing what Cyberpunk is, because I'm guessing as well, but I bet there's not many of us in general that are going to think Red Dead will definitely beat Cyberpunk. There may be guys that prefer the time, that prefer like the cowboys to the Cyberpunk like era, the futuristic stuff, the sci-fi stuff, which I totally get that. But as of right now, I, for one, expect, because these are two games that I haven't played, that Cyberpunk will beat it out.
Yeah.
Having played The Witcher, for example, right? So you're going up basically head to head with The Witcher, with Cyberpunk, I'm sorry, at next gen launch, and then you're going to make people pay for a mode that you don't support. I don't understand that.
So strange.
I don't understand. When the funny thing is, if they just said, look, we're going to bring it out as a standalone, we're going to support it.
We've got this plan, that plan, this is going ahead.
So here's the way, and Rockstar should be down for this, right? Because they know, I think they've heard of this game called GTA 5.
Maybe, yeah.
That if they said, we're going to bring it out, we're going to support it, but as part of that, to keep its infrastructure alive, we're going to implement microtransactions, and based on the first initial lot of that will determine the size of team we can afford to keep the whole thing alive, right? You were going to work together on this, and then if they do that, one, people will probably spend more than $5.
Yep.
Right. Anybody that gets it and wants it is probably going to pay more than $5.
Yeah.
Almost certainly. Then they can actually have a look and say, okay, well, not that many people got it, so we'll do a little bit of support because we said we would, and then kill it. Or they can say, shit, this is really popular. Yeah. We should have been doing this for 2 years
instead of just doing more GTA Online stuff.
Yeah, it's so weird to me because especially the GTA Online stuff is really serious stuff. We saw ads for it at Endgame.
Yeah,
we saw was it a space thing or a heist ad for GTA?
They really paid for premium space.
They really did. And so you just do similar kinds of stuff with Red Dead. I'm sure there's How many people are playing Red Dead Online? Do we know? Do we have numbers on that?
I have no idea. I don't even know how to even check that kind of thing.
Red Dead
But it's
Online.
probably going to be quite low. Probably be quite low.
The most... Hold on. No, is that... Okay, so... That seems really high.
What number are you getting?
732,000.
That is quite high. Not higher
Red
than
Dead
I
Redemption
thought.
2 live player count. But when was that from? Because...
Yeah, you got to find the current one.
yeah, I can't get a date on that.
Red Dead Online
Because,
live
like-
player count. Let's have a look what I can find.
See, now I'm seeing an article from September where they're saying Red Dead Online lobbies are almost dead now. But we saw this exact same thing play out with Battlefront 2, which was they really mishandled it. It had a steep decline, and then the game got cheap enough, and playing it got cheap enough, and they didn't try to rape you with the microtransaction structure that they previously had, and actually pick back up again. So, I don't know. It's an interesting one.
Yeah. I don't. They just need to support it, and if they don't support it, they're not going to get any people on this service. And this is a really limp-wristed attempt to try and do something to try and prove whether the people want to be on Red Dead. Because I guarantee people do want to be in Red Dead. It's just you need to give them a service, a product that's actually alluring, and they're gonna use it as a thing. They're gonna be like, look, we tried to do this thing with Red Dead and it turned out to be nothing. Let's just go back to GTA Online, when really you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything and got nothing. That's what happened right there.
Self-fulfilling prophecy. They never tried, and so it never took off. But the thing is, there are no other cowboy games.
Yeah.
There are none. There's none worth mentioning anyway, right? None that really are worth playing with incredible stories, which Red Dead has an incredible story, at least. The amount of time Ethan's put into that game,
yeah,
and the amount of content even if I had no idea about Rockstar and the kind of games that they make and stuff,
yeah,
you would have to say there's something here, right? Plus you've played it and you've told me, and all the boys say it's amazing.
Yeah,
they have the entire market there, so I think it doesn't make it. I really want to know what's Rockstar's game plan with this, because
it's so strange, right?
It's so weird.
I'd love to be a fly on the wall in their meetings to know what the hell's going on in there.
Also, one of the things that's really popular in GTA is making those car maps.
Yeah.
One of the things I would have done if Rockstar would have let me do this is do the exact same thing, but with mine carts.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be freaking hilarious? Or mods where you actually have a horse, but it has roller skates on, or something just insanely stupid.
They didn't even do the base thing, which was in GTA Online. They had those heist missions that you could get 4 people together and go rob a bank or rob a liquor store or rob a facility or something like that.
Robbing a moving train. It would be straight out of those cowboy movies I watched at my grandparents' when I was a kid.
They didn't even do that. And that was something they proved and tried and showed was perfect. And they could have easily done that in Red Dead Online. They didn't do that. So they didn't want this thing to succeed because they had everybody over on GTA. I think they were worried about pulling people away from GTA and then people never coming back if they dropped off of Red Dead. And if that was true, then why are you trying to do anything now? It's pointless. It's absolutely pointless.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough talking about Rockstar. We've got 1.5 topics left. The last one's really short.
Cool.
This next one, IO Interactive, the people that made the Hitman series, are to develop and publish a wholly original 007 James Bond origin story video game.
Okay.
And Ben the Lioness Charmer wrote into our Discord server and says, any thoughts on this? Me personally, I'm bloody hyped. How do you feel about the sound of that? We've got no information other than a throwaway teaser trailer. But apparently it's going to be completely original James Bond origin story.
I always felt that Hitman was James Bond. They just couldn't get James Bond, so they drummed up some basic white guy assassin story set in modern times and then tried to make James Bond, but they couldn't make him James Bond.
Could you imagine if the whole of the Hitman series, all the games before it, all the mobile games and all the spin-offs and stuff like that was just so they could get the portfolio together, so they could pitch to MGM. They were like, guys, we've made Hitman. It wouldn't be that hard to tweak this into a James Bond game. Guys,
we've basically already made the game.
Give us the
guys.
IP.
Like, come on. Yeah.
Give us the IP. Go on, give us the IP.
I really, I can't think of someone else that, like, just straight off the top of my head, that I would think would do better with the game. Like, Hitman is very close to it, you know. Now all they have to do is get some good writers in for, like, who's the big bad, get some suave, like, scenes in. Like, as much as people, I know some people dislike Daniel Craig as James Bond, because he's a very big departure from the Sean Connery James Bond. Yeah. Which rip in peace.
Yes.
By the way, I do that because I know people hate it, like the SMH to my head. I actually really like Daniel Craig's James Bond. I think Casino Royale is actually up there as one of the better James Bond movies.
It's great.
Like if that's what they angle for, I think they'll hit it like really well.
I think this will be very interesting because the only other James Bond games that we've had in the past are basically the movie in video game form. They've just taken GoldenEye, Tomorrow Never Dies, all these old ones. They've just taken the game and the movie, and then they've converted it into a game, which is great. It hits that certain I'm in the movie feel, and I loved it back in the day. I loved all of those games, but this is going to be a wholly original game, and it's going to be an origin story for James Bond. I'm interested, and I hope it goes. I mean, the whole point of James Bond is that it's all about story and all about the character and all about the internal like turmoil that he has between killing people. Well, at least now anyway, killing people and not killing people and stuff like that. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I'm actually super excited for it. Really excited, and the way that it came out as well. It was just like a random Tuesday. They were like, so we're making a James Bond game, guys. All right, see you later. See you in a couple of years. We've only just got a teaser for you, nothing else. But we'll see you in a couple of years.
I think it could be really cool. Okay, here's the big question. And I think this is one of the things people are really salty about the Daniel Craig James Bond. Mm-hmm. No gadgets.
Ooh.
Do you bring the gadgets back or not? I think personally, I go 50-50. I don't want underwater cars. Which, by the way, for the record, I freaking love that shit.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah,
it was great.
It's one of the things that makes the James Bonds so good.
Yeah.
So I don't think we want to go that far, but like exploding pen, laser watch, like, you know, GoldenEye level of gadgets and gizmos. I think you kind of got to, right? Like,
you got to. I think it's got to have some gadgets. Don't go OTT, but bring some gadgets back, man. Bring back that classic James Bond feel in certain situations.
Or like an exploding phone, you know, like that's totally doable, right? We know that like Samsungs explode.
Exactly, they explode all the time. Even in Skyfall, they brought back the Aston Martin with the guns and the ejector seat and stuff like that and it fit nicely. It was just enough to make it feel cool, you know.
Yeah,
you can do something like that. I'm really excited about that.
I think this could be a show. I'd be really interested to see how it goes. I played the early Hitman games. I was going to say Hitmen. But I kind of left the series, you know?
Yeah, I feel you.
Fun fact, I actually played the first AC game and didn't vibe with it. The guy...
Really?
Enzo jumped into some water and died. And I was like, this guy is expected to like kill all these bad guys and can drown in a pond. Or like, I think it was actually a fountain, like a large fountain, if memory serves.
That's
and I was
just
like,
shocking.
Yeah, so I never, and I was like, I bet if they have that Leonardo guy in here, I'm going to murder him. Not only am I going to not hug him, I'm going to murder him. But, so it'd be interesting to see. I really, I'm going to put it on Twitter now. So the guys who are seeing this, I guess if they're seeing it today, they won't make any sense. But come to it now when you're hearing this.
Go back a day or two.
Yeah, I'm going to make a poll here. What are we going to say? What do we want to do? Would they play it or do they want the level of gadgets? Should we see the gadgets?
So I say, what level would you guys like it to go back to the classics or something like that,
Yeah.
where it's full of gadgets, or just a bit more 50-50?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old school level of gadgets. No. Oh shit! It's only 25 characters.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna go old school gadgets. Or like Daniel Craig, no gadgets. Cool. Right, I'm making that tweet. I genuinely want to know, boys. Do you want the underwater exploding pen cars? Look. I'm sorry. There is nothing
Exploding
cooler.
pen car.
Yeah, there is nothing cooler than a Rolex with like a grappling hook attachment in it.
Oh yeah.
You know, like that's so freaking cool, man.
And it makes sense when you swing from it from your wrist.
Yeah, that's totally fine. There's no way that either that band snaps or your wrist snaps. It's fine.
No. It's cool. It's cool.
So
Yeah.
interesting. I'm glad they gave it to them.
Yes.
Because
I couldn't think of another studio really that could go for it. At least one that has the whole stealth and sort of espionage feel to it and whatnot.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of incredible dev houses out there, but considering that Hitman is basically James Bond light, it's James Bond minus the super secret big bad, corny big bad, banging all the chicks and gadgets, and the fancy dialogue. Like, other than that is Hitman, isn't it? So
yeah, Is there anything else you wanted to talk about the acquisition of this IP before we move on to our last topic?
I'm curious how much it cost them, though. That is it.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a lot, right? It's probably going to be a lot. It's a nice, well-known IP, and they haven't done any. But to be fair, they haven't done anything with James Bond in a while, so maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe.
Talking of gaming, while we're still on gaming on this, the True Gamer podcast, which you can support over on patreon.com/conversations. So that's $5 an episode. Well, $5 a month, even less. There is this GIF that Cyberpunk 2077 Countdown just put out. And it is, and I know guys like Ben and stuff are going to freak out because it's a car looking out the window driving in the rain.
Okay.
And it has RTX on in the bottom corner.
Right.
There are two things I want to mention. The rain coming down the window is incredible. Like, you can see the reflections of the light and it's changing with the stuff. I hope you should go to my Twitter and check it out. And
like
two...
refraction, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. And two, there's no one on the fucking streets.
That's a good point.
Not a person. Not a single person. Not a single person. Anyway, do we have you said our last topic's really short.
Yes. Basically, people are having issues upgrading their PS4 copy to PS5 copies using the free upgrade option for Ubisoft games at the moment. People.
Interesting. Are you one of those?
I am one of those people, in fact, yes.
What a shock.
It apparently is actually people in Europe for some reason. I don't know why that's a specific issue.
Racism.
Exactly, that's what it is. Ubisoft just hate their own territory. I guess. Because they're a French country. Cat company, I should say. So for some reason, it's happening with Watch Dogs, it's happening with Valhalla. I'm suffering with it as well. And I actually don't want to play Valhalla until I get the PS5 update. And it looks like I'm not going to get it anytime soon. What's really stupid about it is that Ubisoft haven't addressed the issue. PlayStation haven't addressed the issue. So it's just in the middle with idiots like me just not being able to get it. A couple of news outlets have raised the issue, but I don't know what the hell's going on. No one's admitting fault. No one's saying an update is coming. You'd think it would be one of like the top priority things because it's something you promised. I've actually requested a refund from the place that I bought it from so I could give it back and then actually get the PS5 disc version because I'm not getting what I paid for, right? It's actually really kind of annoying. And that ties into one of the questions that Nirok has sent into us. And he goes, all right, since I know Eddie's got it, I want to know how you've been enjoying AC Valhalla. What do you rate it and what are your feelings overall? So, based on the little that I've played, I actually do kind of like it. The story is good. I'm not liking the terrible cheap feeling it has of the crappy animations. It's like not mocapped, it's all like hand animated and stuff like that. And that's not something that's going to get upgraded with the PS5 version. That's like mocap or not mocap. That's what it is.
It's done and dusted. Once it's out, you can't, change it.
Exactly. We spoke about this on the last podcast with Ethan. Ethan likes it in spite of those things because he's used to the AC franchise and having that Tesco quality level.
Yeah, cutting corners, shit story, no characters. Yeah.
Exactly, all of those things right there. But the story that I've witnessed so far has been quite cool, and the whole of the hidden ones and the assassins.
Planets back in it?
The planets haven't made an appearance yet. I have to say I'm very disappointed about that. I do want the planets to come back. But that's what's happened so far. I did genuinely want to play more of this. I haven't been able to get the PS5 upgrade so I can get rid of all of those. The bugs, my God, the bugs are so, there's so many of them. It's really distracting from my enjoyment of the gameplay. I wanted to play it and play a lot more of it until Cyberpunk comes out, but we're getting so close to Cyberpunk and no one is saying anything about an update. I don't know what I'm going to do. As I said, I've requested a refund. Maybe I'll get the PS5 version. I'll chuck that in for like maybe I can knock out another 20 hours or so. Apparently this game is like 70, 80 hours long.
Right.
That's too much for a fucking AC game, mate. That's way too long for an AC game.
It's a bit of an ask, isn't it?
And I had a look at the Platinum Trophy, how long it takes for that. The main guys that do trophies, they're saying it's going to take 170 hours to Platinum. I was like, no.
Skip. Pass. Yeah.
Exactly. I've got much better games I'd like to Platinum. The story, though, I am liking the story. It just happens to be that everything surrounding it is bad. Everything around it is bad. And I don't understand why no one else is bringing it up. Maybe it's like Ethan said, we are used to the franchise and used to the low quality, so we're in it now. We get it. We like it.
My question was actually going to be, because you said, I don't want to play it on, unless it's on PS5.
Yes.
But, like... And not just to rip on AC, right?
Yeah.
Because although it's a bit of a meme in our community, but do you want to play it with all the other games that there are out to play, even right now? Let alone by the time the update comes out. In March, I know you're not super excited for Ratchet and Clank, but it will be. I think it's fair to say Ratchet and Clank is one of the early games that is, if not entirely, PS5 only. Actually, it is PS5 only, isn't it?
It is, yeah, exclusive.
Yeah, so I think it's the first real PS5 game.
Yeah.
The first real time where it's opening it up and they don't care, and I don't mean this in negative, they don't care about the PS4 series. It's all about using the PS5 to what they can experience, right? So I think that's in March.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk's in a week.
Yeah.
And realistically... You're not playing Cyberpunk for 60 hours, are you? Come on.
Exactly. I'm playing it for way longer than that. It's for my foreseeable future.
Yeah. Plus content, plus you and me just talking about it. Realistically, if in the next year, the next gen update, if it comes out third person, you kind of have to play it from scratch, in my opinion. and that's not a joke. I genuinely mean it. Plus... There is talk of like a Cyberpunk Online, that they do plan to do a multiplayer apparently. Plus there'll be DLC, and that's just that one game. There's Horizon Forbidden West, which is potentially coming out soonish.
Yep.
Sometime next year. God of War 4, which I know you want to replay.
Yep. I do.
You're playing Demon's Souls. You're gonna do Resident Evil instead of Halo because you're an idiot.
Because I'm a man of true taste and true good taste.
You're something. Are you going to, because at this point to play stuff we need to make time.
Yes, we need to manufacture time.
we don't have spare time. We have to carve it out to do any of the stuff. Are you going to make that happen for Valhalla? I'm not saying it's not bad. I really
That's the good question, and I honestly, when you put it out and lay out on a table, there is no time to play Valhalla. I bought it early. I bought it because it was one of the first games to come out, and I was like, I can play it on PS4. Then it turned out the PS4 version is almost unplayable. In my opinion, it's almost unplayable. I don't know how they sold that to anybody. It's ridiculous. And then there's this hiccup with the PS5 version because I was feeling like playing it before playing I'm only going to play Demon Souls on stream, and Miles Morales is a shorter game which I've knocked out already. I've just got the platinum to do now on that. I finished Astrobot. The only other game that I have in my hand is Call of Duty, which isn't a really, you need to play that right now. It's going to be around for the whole year, and I can play that on the side and, you know, enjoy myself with that one. Which,
Plus
by
bug
the way,
snacks.
Bug snacks, you gotta say right there. By the way, Call of Duty is actually really good looking, and the story has enticed me from the get-go. And the 3D audio is fantastic. Ben Fryer messaged me about it, and I played it, and I was like, fuck me, it's great. It's really good.
It's funny that you say that. I was watching Syndicate earlier today because this recording got pushed back like an hour and a half or something.
Yeah.
And I jumped on Twitch, and there is a new Call of Duty, and Syndicate was a guy that we used to watch back in the day for zombie stuff because he's a beast at zombies, and he was playing zombies. It looks really good.
It's strange. They seem to have, for some reason, gone, you know what? We're going to do a good game this year. Good game this year, guys. Everyone, get ready. We're making a good game. All right? No, we're not phoning it in. No, not reskin.
If I could get PS4 pricing on it,
yes,
I would pick it up.
That it does hurt the next gen prices. They do hurt.
Yeah.
Me. But anyway, with all of those games, I wanted to play Valhalla, and there was a moment where I wanted to play Valhalla again on PS5, and then it got taken away from me because I just couldn't play it on PS5, and now I think it's just gone too far where I can't play it. I might chuck it in if I get the new disc. Like, as soon as I get confirmation of the refund, I'll go out and buy the PS5 version with that money, and then I'll chuck it in. But there's limited amount of time until Cyberpunk comes out, and I will not play anything else over Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's going to be unfortunate for Valhalla.
Yeah. I don't think it's actually a bad game.
No. The story, as I said, so far what I experienced, great. Good stuff.
Yeah,
enticing.
and I caught... I've been chucking like 10 or 20 minutes at like one of Ethan's streams or James' streams every now and again. Mm-hmm. And the discussion about the story, because I couldn't care less about spoilers, it sounds intriguing, you know? Yeah. It sounds like a cheap knockoff of God of War, but, you know, whatever. And
isn't everything Ubisoft does a cheap knockoff of something?
Pretty much. But... like, it did seem somewhat interesting, but not enough to make me want to experience it. Plus, with all the potential bugs and stuff, and even on Ethan, I think I was watching Ethan is playing it on a PS5, and he had loads of bugs.
Yeah, and I fucking bought the game twice. God damn.
Yeah. It's funny because they came out and it looked like they were going to have to compete with Cyberpunk. And then luckily Cyberpunk moved, luckily for them.
Yeah.
But the problem is their game doesn't work. And so by the time it does work, it will then now be competing with Cyberpunk. You know?
Yep. That's the irony of it right there. Yeah, that's the irony.
It's a pity because AC is I don't know, it's an IP that I want to do well. You know? I used to be a Prince of Persia guy. It's also one of the reasons I didn't like AC1, because I was looking for problems with it because I was Prince of Persia fanboy.
Right.
And like there aren't that many titles from back in the day that are still going. You know, that list is limited. You know, it's like Ratchet and Clank, AC, Call of Duty, right? Mm-hmm. Not that we care, but FIFA. Like there's a few games that are like, oh yeah, I used to play that when I was younger. But so in that sense, I want AC to do really well. Yeah. But that means that they have to pull their own weight as well, you know?
Yeah.
So...
let's kick it over to some of our bros who have written in both on our Discord server, which you can check out by clicking the link in the description. It's a great place to hang out with some gamers. And also over on our Patreon at patreon.com/conversations. Those guys over there support us. We read out their comments first of all. First of all, from our boy Real Cinema. And he asked quite an interesting question. He goes, my question, true gamers, is do you think that Sony and Microsoft will remain the top two gaming companies for years? Because in the past, you had the Atari age of gamers, and then the Nintendo versus Sega. And even though Nintendo still exists, they're kind of pushed into the corner alone. So, do you think any company will rise up, or no?
I don't agree with the question.
You don't agree with the question.
Yeah,
Sorry,
the
Rare Roll
premise of the
Cinema.
question.
We don't answer. We don't agree with your question. Goodbye. Sorry about that.
I don't think, like, to be clear, I don't think Nintendo has been pushed into the corner. I think Nintendo has swallowed an entire section of the market, and the other two, like, you're looking at this the wrong way. The big fish is Nintendo, and I really believe that. Just the lucky thing is that Nintendo doesn't want the rest of the pie, but it could take it.
That's it. They haven't gone for the pie that we like, the side of the pie that we like over here.
Yeah.
Although, actually, when I say we like the whole pie, it's just that we've had Nintendo and PlayStation on one half and then Nintendo on the other. That's what we've got. That's what we've got. They're not being pushed to the side. They're not the crumbs. They're actually a good portion of it. But do you think there will be any other companies, however, that rise up?
I think, to be honest, not for a while. If anyone else was going to do it, like Google.
Yes.
And the Stadia freaking sucks so far, right? And it's not really a console. You know, I get that. But, you know, like...
It could have done it, though. Even though it's just a platform, it could have done it. It just didn't. It just didn't.
And it didn't because of Google, not because it couldn't, right? I think first of all, they did a too googly thing, which was, oh, everybody will love this thing, it'll be amazing, not expecting that not everybody has Google Fiber, bruh.
Yeah.
You know?
But we put out Google Fiber. Oh, wait, it's not everywhere? Oh.
Right, exactly. And even with Google Fiber, like, you know, I just feel like they didn't really take it seriously. They were like, we're Google, we can compete with anyone. And, well, no, actually you can't, you know? Because at least, and I hate to say it, but Xbox actually makes games.
Yes.
Not a lot, not many, but it do. Yep. You know, there are things you can only play on Xbox. Not a lot, but there are. You know, Halo, Gears, 12 minutes, which I'm interested in.
Yep.
Medium. You know, fuck, I'm out at 4. Oh,
well, luckily that wasn't the Sea of Thieves. Well, luckily that wasn't. You don't need to go any further because your answer was already that. You don't think for a while.
I wasn't done waxing lyrical about random stuff.
I was gonna say on your tangent.
yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I like the term waxing lyrical, by the way.
yeah, it's funny. It's just like, what would somebody have to do to compete? Is the question.
That's the thing. I don't think it's actually someone has to do something better because these companies are so deeply rooted in gaming that they will be the first to do something if ever anything is to be done. I highly doubt that either Sony or Microsoft will be completely blind to a revolutionary new thing. Like streaming is probably gonna be the future. And Microsoft is already in the game. It didn't wait for Google to come along and say, this is possible, and then they all get up and then do it, because they would be lagging behind. They were already in the game looking to the future. There's no one that could possibly overtake them. The only thing that could happen is if one of these companies monstrously messes up, which Microsoft have done a couple times, but it's not enough to kill them. But they would need to do something that would absolutely demolish their own company, and then it might leave space for a second person to come in to compete with the big dog. I don't think that they could ever be overtaken by someone. That's my opinion.
I mean, I think if you were going to do it, like let's say Elon Musk or some other billionaire was like, we want to do this thing.
Yeah.
I think the play is you buy like Atari or Sega. And you come in and you actually start with retro. Like if I was to plan out, if I had billionaire money, how I would do it, we would buy it, let's say, pick one, Sega.
Yeah.
And
make a sequel to Sonic the Hedgehog the movie. Yes!
First of all, yes. Not even joking. But, like, I think the play is that you rekindle, like, the old gamers, you know, the guys who are, like, 30 plus and have memories of these things.
Yeah.
And you put it out like really reasonable, you know, at like £100 and has all of the games from back in the day on it and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe even less. And then you go, you know, you build up that Nintendo-like fan base where it's like, it's the kind of the more serious family games in a sense, or more serious child-friendly games.
Yeah.
And then you go like, guys, we actually... we're considering doing it. Like, what do you think? You know,
With
you
that,
don't come out of nowhere.
you sparked an idea in my head that you're gonna have to take partial credit for this because I wouldn't have thought of it otherwise. But instead of buying a person like Sega or like Atari or anything like that, like a company that used to make a console, you can go and buy directly a publisher of games or something like that, because the games is what matters, and you can build a system to play those games. So I would go out and buy a company that has a terrible reputation.
Yeah.
Let's say someone like EA, for example, but they have tremendously valuable IP, and then turn it into something amazing. Imagine if Elon Musk was to go and buy EA and then go, right, guys, we're getting rid of all that stupid, freaking nonsense of packs in FIFA, all these ridiculous microtransactions. You guys like Star Wars? We're going to do a great 3 games minimum of great storytelling Star Wars right there. We're going to give you everything you guys want. All those things you could do, and then just go, and guess what? We're also bringing out a console that we believe is going to be the best way to play all of our games right here. Go nuts, everyone. That would be the way that you get into people, because the games is what matters, as Microsoft have learned very harshly.
I think that is the play. You buy EA or someone like that, and then you say, all the stuff you're hated for, we're not doing that anymore.
Yes, exactly. All the shit you hate, we ain't doing it. We're getting rid of it, guys.
Like if you were a giant company and like say maybe you bought, I don't know, Bethesda, or even the company that owns Bethesda.
Yes.
But you bought it for Bethesda. Then you would go to the games dev team, right, the Bethesda team, and you say, guys, when we make games, we're going to actually start it and finish it before it goes out. The game will come out finished. Like we're going to go from point A to B the whole way, then bring it out.
Nah, that doesn't make no sense.
It'll work, and we're not going to charge people $5 for a door.
You know, there's that meme where it's like, HR wants me to ask you what the difference is between these
Corporate
two cards.
needs you to find the difference between these two
That's
pictures.
it. That's it right there. And for Bethesda, it's just a broken game, a finished game. It's like, those are exactly the same thing.
It's the same thing.
There's no difference.
Those are the same picture. Absolutely.
Oh boy. Anyway, real cinema, true cinema, I should say. That is what we think would have to happen. It's really hard to destroy these big titans, but also I will say, no one thought about that. Everyone thought the same about Sega and Atari back in the day, and they're gone now. So it's possible. Everything's possible.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our Discord server. A couple of our guys. I'm going to read D's one. Rest in peace, my boy. You're never going to see this question be answered. He goes, I got a question for you, lads. So since you both already have tried out the PS5, I was wondering, how would you rank the PlayStation controllers from PS1 to PS5? Cheers, lads. Have a good day. Do you have any particular ranking off the top of your head?
Yes.
Go on. Let's rank them here.
The DualSense 5 is the best.
Definitely the DualSense controller. I've actually said it on Twitter. I think is actually my favorite controller ever.
Yeah, it's the best by a long, long way. I don't mean the best of the PlayStation. I mean, it's the best controller.
It's the best controller, yep.
And then things are going to get a little bit interesting.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to put the PS1 and 2 controller together as the next best, but it's for nostalgia reasons. Like, they are too small and too light and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
But like that grey, that like just childhood memories of playing, like leaving Final Fantasy 9 on for like 7 hours and coming back from school and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Then the DS4, then the DS3.
Yeah, okay. That's a good list right there. That's a good list.
Yeah.
I think I go DualSense controller.
The DualSense is more... I said this a while ago, and tell me if you agree, but I said the PS5 is looking like it's not the next gen. It's a new species, and I think that's true.
Yeah, I would agree. With that.
Especially with the controller, man. The DS5, the DualSense, excuse me. I'm calling it the DS5. I don't care. Frick you guys. Fricky. You don't... Anybody... I'll only do it if you're at the $69 tier. Nice. Otherwise, frick you. The DS5 is brilliant. It's incredible. And that alone is next species kind of level, plus the sound stuff, the Thousand Direction sound. Yeah, incredible stuff. Anyway, your list.
DualSense controller. And then I think it's...
What's the DualSense? Do you mean the DS5?
Listen, you may not respect the DualSense controller enough to call it by its correct title, but I shall not be drenched through the trudge, through the mud and everything with you, sir. No, thank you. No, actually, I've called it DualShock 5 a couple times now to catch myself. DualSense controller. Then I think I will go for the... shit. Do you know what? It's going to have to be PS1 after that. The PS1 controller was just great. And then it will be the DualShock 4. And then the DualShock 3 and 2. So I like the DualShock 3 because despite us making our jokes about the 6-axis, I liked the 6-axis. In some games it used to work and it was like, oh my god, I'm in the future. But then as soon as we got into the future, we realized how stupid it was.
I love the idea of what the 6-axis represents, which is trying.
Yes.
Trying to see if like this new system would work and if maybe developers will run with it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so for that reason, I actually totally agree about the 6-axis. It didn't end up getting adopted, but I like that they tried.
Yeah.
And that's again something that, I mean, Xbox hasn't done anything with its controllers since the Xbox.
Yeah,
the original
it's strange,
Xbox.
right? They've really done
they're
nothing.
The same.
Yeah.
And the downside is that the Xbox controller is the same as it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, which is it has some rumble packs in it. And the DualSense is something completely different.
Yeah.
And I was really not expecting Astros to
be that
I don't know
good.
to give me anything, you know, anything. I was thinking it was kind of going to be like Knack, not, you know, sorry Astros, but that's what I thought you were going to be. And just that intro to the controller, I mean, shit, you guys saw Fishy react to it on our podcast.
Yeah.
He was on the last True Gamer and he went through that section, and that alone, like, man.
The way that he reacted was so perfect and so genuine as well. It was like, ooh.
Yeah. And Astros, if its only purpose was to showcase the DS5, they absolutely hit it, you know? And it's an incredible controller. It is really, if you haven't experienced it, it's so hard to feel, to express it, but there's a section in that like tutorial where there's the bots in the controller, right? And you can move them around. Yeah. And if you tilt them all to one side, like hourglass them, they all flop down to one side. And one is that like the controller feels like it gets heavier at one end than at the other. Mm-hmm. They slow down because there's less ones at, you know, so like initially it's like 4 guys hit the bottom and then the last 1 or 2, which is really interesting. But then like they're all rumbling around in the bottom and nothing's at the top. It feels like there's stuff in your controller. It feels like there's these little robots going, hey, woo, you know, like in the...
Like if you opened up your controller, you'd see some robots there.
Yeah, they'd all come tumbling out.
Yeah.
It's freaking fantastic, and that's because they're at least trying. Although, like, I didn't vibe with the DS6. I didn't have any games that I would want to use it on.
The DS6?
What? I meant the 6-axis.
Okay, I was going to say, the DS6, I'm like, wait a minute, he's in the
I'm
future?
so sorry.
Am I having an aneurysm?
I didn't have any games that really used the 6-axis.
Yeah.
But I like that they at least tried. And it was something that made sense to try.
Yeah.
It was at a time where the tech didn't really make sense. Like the idea was that you could take your DS3 and just hold it up as if it was a fancy steering wheel and use it like in racing games and stuff.
Yeah.
It just wasn't anywhere near sensitive enough.
Yeah.
Right? But they tried and it was cool. I gotta give it to the PS1 and 2 just for nostalgia.
Yeah.
You know? Anyway.
So that's all of our controllers. Let us know in the chat as well what you guys... I'm sure people are already saying like what their favourite controller is or this over that and stuff like that. It should be quite a good conversation. Looking forward to that. The next question is from... Oh, we did have one that Josh wrote in. And also they sent in pictures as well of their setups and stuff like that. Josh sent in, he goes, I had to sacrifice Minecraft to put my Combroplations cover into. And he goes, it went from gaming to true gaming, he says, because it's Minecraft.
Yeah, of course.
And he goes, but my topic is mainly for Eddie. Sorry, Sheps, he says. Now that I've had the PS5 for about a week, and is the storage holding up? And how many games can you fit onto it? Thanks again for the cover. I tried to do photographs with my picture, but my phone messed up, okay? My storage so far has been holding up. I haven't intentionally gone and put loads of games on it, though. That's the thing. People have been telling me that apparently PSVR games have all got a natural boost because of the console. Apparently the quality has gone up significantly. I haven't tried it out yet. I want to try it out, and I'll report back to you guys on the next True Gamer podcast. If anyone wants to remind me as well, that'd be really cool. But I want to go try out some other games. I played God of War. God of War looks great in 60 FPS. I played Spider-Man Remastered, obviously, but that's a remastered game. And I've got maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 games on there. 7 or 8 games on there. And I'm okay so far. But I am probably getting to the limit somewhere. I know that the storage really isn't enough for me. Shep, so you're probably going to be okay because, like we've said many times, you had a 500 gigabyte base PS5 and you've managed to survive the whole 7 years with it, and now it's going to be 662. So you're going to have a little bit more.
Also, the fact is, and even though the copying is still there, it happens so quickly, at least in comparison.
Also, the copying is also once. So the copying happens from the disc to the console, and then that's it. Yeah. So all of the updates that come in, they get downloaded and immediately just put onto the drive. There's no copying phase within that. Right. So that's all it is. I mean, you do have to, like we did on the PS4, you have to install the game, and that copying, while it's called copying, you could just replace it with installing, and it's same thing. So there you go. That's really good right there.
So and look, I watched you do a few games in front of me while we were streaming. They happened very quickly.
Yeah,
very quickly. You put the disc in, and maybe 10 minutes later, let's say a maximum 20 minutes later, the game is ready to play.
Stretching as well.
And the fact is, I'm actually considering about maybe asking you for Red Dead.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see.
Prepare for a long install time for that.
Well, that's the thing. If I put that in this and put it on rest mode, it will still take a few hours.
Yeah.
Realistically, yeah, minimum an hour, minimum. You know, it's so quick. It's still a bit of a ball ache, but if you know that you want to play something tomorrow, you can chuck it in while you're watching Netflix with the chick, and it will get a notification, probably interrupt the first episode of whatever you watch.
Yeah.
So
but also, it's one of the. Do you know what I do like actually? Something that happens on the PS5. I've got the app linked up to the console as well. I'm signed in, and anytime I install a game, I get a notification on my phone to say, "Hey, the game's installed, ready to play."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, that's actually
and on
really
your watch.
Cool." Yeah, exactly. I get that. I'm like, that's really good. I could throw in my game, go and I don't know, wash Isla or whatever it might be, and then just like, oh, my game's ready to play, and then just drop Isla wherever the hell I am, and then just go play games.
Yeah, exactly. You literally just
boom, on the floor.
You could be walking up the stairs and just like, right, you're done. Boom, 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 boom.
Exactly.
Wah, shut up.
I'm trying to play video games, all right?
Right. Priorities, Isla. Shit.
You'll thank me when you're
ungrateful.
A gamer.
Yeah.
Our next question is from our boy Isak, who killed Captain Alex for Movie Club. I wish I knew what that movie was, but there you go. The guy's come up with some really weird stuff. There's also a petition to get Toy Story to be in for Movie Club as well.
It's an absolute banger. Talking of Movie Club and stuff, we actually haven't finished season 1 of Anime Club. We do need to wrap that up, but we're in PS5 stage, so I reckon should we say January?
I was gonna say we might be able to squeeze it in before the end of the year, but it is gonna be tight. We'll have to confirm it for you, but it will be tight. It will be tight. Maybe January. Maybe we'll see. We also have Conversations Day coming up in January as well. Ooh,
yes, we do. Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Okay. I just searched for Who Killed Captain Alex, and I'm watching the original trailer. I think this might be a Ugandan film.
Okay.
I don't know.
Isak, are you? Is that true?
Oh God.
Is it that bad?
I'm so confused. I don't know if this is serious. This could be just like a piss take of it.
It might be a joke.
Let me check IMDb. No, that might have been it. Hold on a minute. Uganda's president gives Captain Alex the mission to defeat the Tiger Mafia, but Alex gets killed in the process. Upon hearing the tragic news, his brother investigates to avenge Alex.
So who killed Captain Alex? The Movie Club confirmation right here, guys. You got it here. Guys.
That sounds like the biggest train wreck. That I how long is it? I'm not even gonna. Let's not
entertain the idea.
It's only an hour long.
Oh shit! Okay, well let's think about it then. Let's consider it. Let's give Isak some hope.
IMDb has it in at 8.2 out of 10.
Really?
I think it's a troll 8.2 though. It's like it's so bad. It's good.
Like Marquee for Movie Club, right? It's
yes.
Like, yeah.
What's Marquee at?
Oh god. It's like when IMDb put Green Lantern at a low score. It's a troll score, really. Like It's actually true cinema, but we're going to put it down as a low number.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because what you don't want is to have the plebs, just watching it.
Yeah, you don't want the plebs. Go on, get out of here.
No.
Let me read out Isak's question finally. He says, my thoughts of what I have seen on the Xbox Series X. First of all, God, that is a confusing name convention for Microsoft. But
yes.
I have been going over the Xbox Series X and PS5 comparisons, which there have been a lot of videos since we last spoke. And the fact that the PS5, a supposedly less powerful console, is running games better and at more graphical fidelity than the quote-unquote most powerful console is a disgrace. Honestly, what is the point of a powerful console when all it's outputting is something equivalent to the PS3 in 2010? He's being a bit facetious there. Why isn't that power being used? I wasn't planning on getting an Xbox, even so, I'm still disappointed. That's a good point. I don't know if you've seen many of these comparisons by like Digital Foundry and stuff. So AC Valhalla, Watch Dogs, and some other games that are slipping my mind right now are all running the Xbox version on the Xbox Series X. Oh, Dirt 5. Oh my god, that's an awful one. With huge differences. Some of them are frame rate differences, but others are level of detail things. So like, when you get the performance mode on a certain game and then you get the resolution mode and they scale back on like assets, in Dirt, in the 120 FPS mode, it seems like they've scaled back to like PS3 level for the Xbox, and for the PS5 they've got a PS5 version. It's really, really jarring and really strange. I don't know what the most powerful console is doing at the moment, but it's definitely not producing good-looking games, and that's a good point right there. I'm
just gonna come out and say we called it.
We did call it. It's not all about that. The number that they were touting, even though when we broke it apart, we said that the PS5 is going to have a lot of power, especially when it has its own dedicated processing on the side for the audio, which was factored in for the Xbox's one, as well as efficiency, optimization, and then also just good games.
Like stuff to play, plus everything that's out that plays on both plays better.
Yeah.
I
really want Xbox to come out with a banger, man. Can you just do it? Just come out with a banger for us, please.
I mean, they've got what? Medium and...
Yeah, I want to see that. 12 minutes, like we said.
And 12 minutes, I think, are the probably the only two that have a shot at in the next 12 months.
Yeah.
I don't see Halo Infinite being ready. I really don't. So...
Oh, all right. Well, maybe something will happen. Maybe. Right now, it's looking very bleak for them.
It really is.
Our next question is from our boy Hood. This is one of our new bros here. He says, hey Sheps and Eddie, the DualSense is pretty cool. We're all hoping that games take advantage of it like Astro COD and Deathloop next year. Deathloop's the one that's going to have that where the trigger jams if the gun jams.
Interesting.
Very interesting. I hope people don't break their triggers.
I was about to say.
It's like, why isn't this button pressing? Snap.
Yeah.
Now you've been selected by Sony to pitch. Oh, okay. Oh, here we go. Now you've been selected by Sony to pitch your game that uses the DualSense features. To get you started, so he's trying to ask us for ideas here.
Yeah.
To get you started, my idea: a horror game in which someone is stalking you, and the closer you get to them, you can feel their heartbeat getting louder and quicker through the DualSense haptics. That would be really cool.
That's sick.
Also, he says, P.S. The shop I ordered from is sending my cool steelbook cover in addition to the normal Cyberpunk one. So the normal plastic one is getting the facelift to your cover. Yeah, boy. Good one. Good one right there. He's gonna have it side by side. Do you have any like off the top of your head ideas? Because that was a really cool one. What Hood just mentioned there.
You know what? No, I haven't thought about it because the thing that came to my mind originally about haptic was we were saying about like if in the future if VR has like haptic gloves where because I remember that clip of Half-Life Alyx where you're like behind shelves and you can interact with some stuff, but you should be able to interact with everything. You should be able to pick stuff up and move it so you can like see and pick up individual bullets and stuff, right? Because I hate that you can run up to a pile of ammo, hit square, and you get one bullet.
Yes.
Yeah. But I haven't actually thought about it for the DS5. I mean,
I've got one idea if you'd like me to
go on,
pitch it
let's hear it.
So because I had in the past pitched my Perfect Superman game,
okay,
it would be really cool to have like Superman lifting, say like a missile that's like a ship, a spaceship that's like failed launch or something like that, and he's about to lift it above his head, and you feel the tension through like the triggers. You're trying to push up, just like, and maybe if like you blast your heat vision and you can feel feedback coming through the controller, like this like gritty feeling of
the
like
feedback. Yeah, the controller actually heats up to like 3,000 degrees.
That's it. That's what you could feel right there, and then it melts in your hands, and you have to go to the burn unit. Yeah. That's exactly what happened.
Wouldn't that be the immersion, man? The immersion.
Exactly. I feel like that could be quite cool. And also, if you do, it's a bit like the God of War effect, like I said, with the Leviathan axe coming back. If you do end up fighting like a big bad, like a Brainiac or a Zod or something like that, those meaty hits that you can feel, they'll probably be able to feel very good going through the controller. So my perfect game has now been made even better with the DualSense controller. Thank you, Sony. Thank you very much for that.
I mean, a good candidate for that kind of update would be like Death Stranding.
Ooh, we need to do that.
Yeah.
We need that. Oh, God.
But what... I mean, I haven't given any thought to the game I would make for it. I'm just trying to think what games I feel like need to be made that haven't been made. I don't really... I mean, because you have your Superman game, obviously, but I don't think I have a game that needs to be made that hasn't been, Yeah,
I feel you.
I haven't really considered it. I mean...
You've got normal things to do in your life, and you're not a loser like me who just sits around thinking about games he would like to make that are never going to happen.
The thing is, though, it's a really good question. Like, what game would I like to make? Like the question is, if Sony's approached us to make a game, what would it be? Because I'm really good at improving stuff that's already been made, Or like, if someone says, we're making this game, what do you want to do with it? But I haven't really thought about what game I would make. I guess I have to stick with what I know, which will go with like some sort of anime hentai game, right? And you play as the alien octopus, and that's where the haptic comes in.
Every time one of the suction cups off of the octopus pops off, you can feel it through the controller.
Exactly. Like you put it down, just
And when the anime girl creams, she actually creams through your controller.
Why
it's just
you took it to, the controller just dies because it floods.
It waterlogs.
I'm trying to think. There's got to be a game. The worst thing is once we stop this podcast, I'm going to end up texting you being like, it should have been this.
Oh my God, all of these things. Oh,
yeah. James Bond. Oh no, they're making that. God damn it, Frank. Actually, do you know what? I know it.
Go on.
I want a Pacific Rim game.
Oh, yes, we need it. Go on.
And that would work really well with the haptic feedback. Like at least for a tutorial level or something where you're having to like sync your actions with whatever you're seeing on the screen to get the the Jaeger to do what you want.
Yeah.
You know? I also think it would be a good update to Ghost of Tsushima if, and this is the condition, we get 1v1 multiplayers.
Give him what he wants, Sony. Give him what he wants.
What I would add, because we're adding stuff now, I guess. It's not really answering the question, but close enough. This is you just gonna have to deal with it.
Deal with it.
1v1 duels, but under the right circumstances, you get like the blades locked, and then you have to go through sort of like a lesser version of the bamboo strikes, where to overcome the other player. Right, but half of that will be haptic mapping. Right. So like you have to juggle like the left trigger with like a square circle triangle square circle. You know.
That sounds really hard, but I love it.
Yeah, but this is 1v1 duels to the death, bro.
To the death,
you know? And look, worst case scenario, you lose it and you have to make sure you block the next incoming strike.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like the end of the world if you lose the like entanglement.
Yeah.
But there's got to be some other stuff, but I really, off the top of my head, I've never thought about like making a game.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I feel you. That was a really interesting question. Thank you very much for that.
That's a great question. I'm going to have to think about that. I really want to...
I like those kind of questions because it's actually... it's like we can... I love all questions, to be fair. Everyone sends in really great ones. But when it comes to...
He doesn't. We judge you all based on the questions that you ask.
You all suck. God damn it. If you guys could make this podcast interesting for us, that would be great. Because we can't do it. No, but when they send questions in where it's like, think of this imaginary thing, it's hard, but when we get it, it feels really good and it feels really satisfying. Let's answer some of our questions. So I've got 2 questions here that I'm going to combine into one. Okay. One is from Juice Source, and it says, he's also saying Spy Kids for Movie Club, the guys. He goes, what are your biggest issues with the PS5 so far? Do you think the PS4 did anything better? And also Diogo writes in, he says, thoughts on the launch issues of the PS5, like the controllers not charging, games not being upgraded, like the one I said, and rest mode. Rest mode is sometimes bricking PS5s as well that's going on out there.
Oof.
So what do you think
let
about
me start.
Go on.
The number one issue is that I have one.
That is a big issue. That's a big issue, Sony. You should get on that, rectify that very soon.
A lot. But the thing is, a lot of people don't have one. It's not just like me, and we're normally like first in the queue kind of guys.
Yeah.
But like when the PS4 came out, there weren't nearly this number of people that didn't get it. There were people that didn't get it, of course, but it wasn't, half or more. And I think it's way more than half that didn't get it.
It's way more. That's what I feel like anyway.
Yeah.
With the issue so far, I used to use rest mode a lot, and I think I convinced you into using rest mode as well.
I use it all the time.
And it's religiously the thing I used to use a lot because it's such a great feature to be able to turn off your console and then jump right back into.
Quick resume. Oh,
yes.
So good.
And I used it a little bit on the PS5, but then when people told me that there's some people out there that are bricking their consoles from doing it, or they have to rebuild their storage or whatever, I stopped using it. And I really, really miss using that. I think there might have been an update recently that solved it, but it's kind of like
Give it a month.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like going, okay, don't worry, guys, we fixed the reactor. It's no longer gonna go nuclear. It was going to go nuclear yesterday, but now it's okay, guys.
Yeah, now it's fine, yeah.
It's like, are you sure? Are you sure right there?
Are you smoking crack?
So that's one thing. But the controllers, luckily I've not had the issue with the controllers not charging. Diogo's saying apparently it's taking like 6 hours to charge his controller. I tried it on my one and it turned out to be completely fine. Within an hour it was fully charged. I don't know what's going on there. The upgrade thing is really pissing me off though. And it's more pissing me off because no one is saying anything about it. Neither party is going, we know the issue, or we've identified the issue and we're solving it. Don't worry, bear with us. It's just, play games, guys. Everyone, you playing some games?
I mean, if the update's out there, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, and this is not that I want to be a huge YouTuber for the clout, but I would love if we could just get the entire of our like communities together and just pump your tweet to like thousands of likes and retweets. So where's my free update, guys?
I actually did that. But this was prior to the article that I told you about where people have identified the issue.
Right.
I think I might do it again because that time people were just like, oh, here's the solution, here's how you do it. But it was just a general tutorial. But the general tutorial doesn't work because of this weird glitch that's going on that's not allowing it. So maybe I'll do it again. And that time I did get quite a decent number of people like retweeting and stuff like that. So thanks to everybody who did it. But we need to do that again, I think, to get some fucking heads turning, you know?
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really subscribe to the whole clout thing, but if we have an audience or we're, connected to an audience that can do some good by at least getting, devs to acknowledge that this is a problem.
Yeah.
Because that's half the thing that hurts the most is the devs just being like, no, it's fine. It's just you. Except it's not just you.
It's not, Yeah. It would be also, this would be a good thing as well. If we could get Ubisoft or PlayStation to acknowledge this or to say, oh, we've seen your thing, we're working on something now, then we will have all collectively saved a bunch of gamers. That's what we would have done. So that's a good thing. That's a great thing right
Absolutely.
there. Anyway, that is all the questions that we have on the True Gamer podcast right here. It's actually really boiling in my room, and I haven't set up my my Assassin's Creed unit, so I'm dying. I don't know how you're feeling over there in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, it's been a long one.
It's been a long one. I've got 2 hours 18 written here, but that's obviously before I started recording.
I have 2:40.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So I'm missing half an hour. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode of the True Gamer podcast. We'll be back again next week, and next week will be the. Actually, no. Will we be back next week? No, we will.
We will, yeah.
We will, but
Why wouldn't we be?
We might have to work it out because that will be the week of the charity streams. So we probably won't be able to do the live chat. Maybe we'll put it up as just a standalone video, like for this one time.
Yeah, it might not be. Also, maybe they are all pre-recorded, but it may be like the week prior, so it won't be the most up to date.
Yeah,
stuff.
It might be something like that. So we'll see how that goes. But it'll also be a week before Cyberpunk, so that'll be something also. I'm sure there'll be awesome stuff to talk about there. And soon we have to do our Game of the Year predictions as well. That'll be something. Maybe we do that on the next episode, actually.
Yeah, we could do that.
Because that's something that's kind of like timeless, isn't it? We don't have to worry about it.
Anyway.
Thank you very much for everybody for joining us on this episode of the True Gaming Podcast. Thank you, bro, again for being my bro and bearing with me through all the crap that I do ever. Nothing to do with this podcast, just ever.
No, yeah, just in general. Yeah, thank you for being here and reading, even though you're the one who shouldn't be reading.
Exactly.
I could have done it. Where were you reading a lot of those questions from, by the way?
I was reading them from our Discord server.
That's an interesting place because, normally YouTubers will show liking and subscribing and head over to our Patreon at patreon.com/conversations where you can have all this content and extra and exclusive stuff for as little as $1 a month. But the Discord is completely free.
Yeah,
completely free and genuinely one of the coolest places on the internet to hang out, if not the coolest.
Exactly, I agree.
And as much as that is some YouTube chilling stuff, I actually mean it as well. The Discord is cool. Every time Discord goes down, I'm like flopping around in the wind, just getting blown this way and that, not knowing where I'm supposed to go on the internet.
Be specific. Be specific. What is flopping around in the wind?
Oh, you know what's flopping around.
Oh, where we go.
The gaming. But the very first thing I'll do is I'll head to Twitter and be like, is Discord down for anyone else? Like, Twitter's main purpose is to check Discord is still up and running.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. Oh, do you know what? Do you know what's happened all of a sudden? This is really weird. So for those of you guys that have been following me on Twitter and stuff like that, you'll know that I've got back problems for them recently. I don't know how I twisted myself just now, but I felt this shocking pain just go up my back. And I feel almost paralyzed.
Okay.
Thank fuck we're at the end of this podcast and it's not in the middle.
I was hoping you were going to say, I just clicked my back and it's totally fixed it. But
oh,
no.
Man. I wish I had that Incredibles moment, but no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's painful. Okay, do you mind if I end the podcast here and go cry into a pillow?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right, thank you everybody for joining us for this episode. We'll catch you all next week, and I'll catch you next week, bro.
I'll catch you in the next one.